Hello, everyone. This is Everything is Ruined. I'm just going to wait for people to come in here real quick. So give me one moment. I'm looking for the questions right now. Give me 1 second. Okay, I have it up. All right. I advertised it on my Twitter. I don't know if I fucked it up or something, but it should be up. I don't know why it's all fucked up. All right, so I guess we'll just get into it. Thanks for 100 subscribers. I didn't expect to reach 100 subscribers within a month. I know on my old channel, before that was hacked, it took about, I don't know, 2 months or so. So that's it's very interesting to see. So I really do I really do appreciate that. So I guess what we're gonna do is we have a couple questions on Twitter, and then we have a lot of questions on YouTube. And then I guess at the towards the tail end when we're all done, I could answer questions from chat here. So what would WWE need to get better? You need a promoter who doesn't give a fuck. You need a promoter who doesn't care about what the talent has to say, what the media has to say, or any of that shit. As long as they are willing to put up the best product possible and break down doors, that's all you fucking need. I understand it's a business. At the end of the day, you need to make money, and that's perfectly fine. But the way that it's going now, the way that Triple H has set it up, there is not much to really be excited about. So fuck all of that. All right, let's get into Twitter here. Give me 1 second here. That is sus as fuck. There we go. All right, so we got a bunch of questions here. I'm 32 and more mature than Punk. Yeah, I mean, anybody's fucking more mature than that asshole. All he does is start problems wherever he goes, and people, for some reason, clamor over this guy. I don't understand the hype with CM Punk. His hype died down fucking 20 years ago, so I don't understand why he's still given opportunities. So, okay. Yeah, we have a couple questions here on Twitter. Let's read these first. 4'6" Giant says, I got a few. What are your thoughts on Final Fantasy? It's all right. I haven't really played it too much. I played it when I was younger, and I kind of forgot about it, but the characters are good from what I remember. Yeah, it's a good RPG for sure. I was always more of a Dragon Quest guy myself. Dragon Quest VIII is one of my favorites. So, yeah, I don't have too much of an opinion on that. Thoughts on ECW? ECW was different. A lot of people viewed it as garbage, kind of bullshit wrestling, but I think it did something different that they weren't, you weren't seeing that type of shit on WWF at the time. So having that as an alternative, that was a legit alternative, even though it really wasn't making much money per se. But it was definitely entertaining to watch, no doubt. What's up, Anti-Hero? It's good to have you here. Favorite music genre? Fuck, that's a good question. My favorite music genre is either heavy metal or rock. For me, that's like, for heavy metal, it'd be like Megadeth, Metallica, Seether, Sepultura, really good bands. And then for rock, like Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Daughtry's band their first album was really good. So yeah, that's some of my favorites. Who's a forgotten wrestler you like? Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock, underrated guy, really underrated. He could cut a promo, looked like a star. He was a mid-carder because of all the talent you had in WWF at the time. I mean, you had Stone Cold and The Rock, Undertaker, Kane. He wasn't going to be a main eventer. He could have been, there's no doubt in my mind. He could have definitely been a main eventer. He could have been a main event player for years. I don't blame him for leaving WWE. So I do wish that he stuck around because he could have definitely been a main eventer in the Ruthless Aggression era. Definitely could have been a main eventer. So thanks, Forfeit Science, for that. I really appreciate it. Darren asks, underrated video game? Fuck. Underrated. Dead Space 3. I know a lot of people don't like Dead Space 3 because it's different from the overall series of games from Dead Space 1 and 2, but it's definitely a good game. It's not a good Dead Space game, but it's a good shooter. It's not too much horror. It's more or less action horror, and I think it's a decent game. It's not the best game I've ever played, but it's definitely not the worst, and I do think it's underrated because of the characters are. If you play Dead Space 1 and 2, the characters are still kind of there. So, yeah, I would recommend Dead Space 3. What else? I'm trying to think here of games that I've played that I would recommend. If you've never played the Ratchet and Clank series, play that. Specifically, the first 3 games are super underrated. Some of the best games you'll play on PlayStation 2. So, yeah. AJ's Division, what do you think of the best Divas champions in the year 2008? Is it bad that I can't remember much from that era? I remember Paige, I remember Nikki Bella, and AJ Lee. That's pretty much it. So I can't really answer that question. Wayne asks, favorite songs in PlayStation games? Favorite songs? Take No Prisoners from Megadeth. For Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica. Gasoline by Seether. Favorite PlayStation games, like specifically PlayStation games, I guess. Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper. I don't know. It's a good question. I really don't. I don't remember too much. Also, I think my mic is unplugged. Give me 1 minute. I am a fucking idiot. I hope my audio wasn't shit. All right. Let me know on the stream if the audio is better. Hold on. I think somebody opened my fucking door. Who the fuck's touching my door? I'm trying to do something. Sorry. Fucking technical malfunctions. I have not slept in fucking... Yeah, it's Triple H. He's knocking on my fucking door. Asshole. He's trying to take my stream down like a fucking cunt. Let's see what else. Okay, so that's the end of those comments. Thank you for everyone who sent those. I really appreciate that. All right, this one has more comments. So we have one from TWRP. They asked, favorite jump scare? Fuck. That's a great question. So if I had to pick a couple, it'd probably be from Dead Space 2. Specifically in chapter 5, you're walking through a cathedral and this large enemy called a tripod jumps down from where you can't see and jumps on you. It starts pulling you in, and you have to shoot its like fetus tongue to make sure that it dies. So that was a good one. And then when you're coming out of the vent at the same chapter, you get jump scared by Isaac Clarke's dead girlfriend. And that one, when I first happened to me, that was legit. Most of the scares in that game are they're pretty legit. That's why I like Dead Space. It's a survival horror game. Even Dead Space 2 is survival horror, and it's action packed, but you still get jump scared from time to time, and you do get fucked sometimes. So thank you, TWRP. Appreciate that. AJ's Division. Do you think Edge and Chris Jericho are ruining their legacy by being in AEW? What do you think of Eve Torres? Edge and Chris Jericho, yeah, I don't. It's specifically Edge because I don't understand why he decided to go. And I understand you're getting paid, you're getting fat paid. I understand that, but from what he did in WWE, he'll always be a fucking legend. But he's devalued himself. He's teaming up with FTR, which they're known jobbers. Nobody gives a fuck about them. And Chris Jericho, I haven't really been following up with AEW. I don't watch AEW, but from what I've seen, he's just a complete fucking embarrassment on TV. So yeah, I agree. I think they are ruining their legacy. I don't think they should have went to AEW. I'm sure they could have renegotiated fat deals with WWE. I just think Triple H didn't have anything to do with Edge. Like he just didn't have anything lined up for him. It's the same deal with Bobby Lashley. He just released these guys. They don't have anything, willing for him. So Darren, thoughts on Dead Space 3? I think that game is not overhated. People make it out to be. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely not a good Dead Space game, but as a shooter, it's not bad. It's not the worst thing in the world. I've played worse games. I've had good times in Dead Space 3, but I've also had fucking frustrating, infuriating moments in Dead Space 3. So I like that game a lot. Old school Josh, thoughts on SpongeBob? First 3 seasons of SpongeBob were very good. That's some of the best children's TV show you'll ever watch. But when it started getting after Steven Hillenburg kind of distanced himself from the product too much, it changed for the worse. And then after he died, it's fully for kids. The great thing about SpongeBob before is that it was for kids, but it had adult jokes that you could laugh at. And so it doesn't have that much anymore from what I saw. So yeah, old school SpongeBob I'd say is some of the best children's TV you'll ever watch, but new SpongeBob not so much. Brian asks thoughts on GTA 6 and will it be delayed or not? Well, it has been delayed already, right? I mean, it's been delayed before. I think GTA 6 has to perform up to par, because if it doesn't, it's going to be a failure. We've waited, especially for the people that have been waiting for GTA 6 for so long. I will feel bad for you if it does flop, because it's been delayed already. I've seen the trailers. It looks good enough, I guess. So I'm excited. I don't know if I'll pick the game up, but I'm excited to see how it turns out. I hope it doesn't get delayed again. It's been delayed fucking long enough. Darkman Zero asks top 3 horror movies that gross you out. Blair Witch Project. I know it wasn't like a gory movie, but it freaked me the fuck out as a kid. The Terrifier movies are an easy pick. They're just fucking nasty. And some of the Saw movies got to me as a kid too. Top 2 divas to fuck free of charge. Fuck, that's a hard question. Trish Stratus and Liv Morgan. I would go with that. Favorite console, PS2. It had the best games for me. PS4. PS2 was great. I liked PS3 as well. It wasn't as good as PS2, but it was sufficient. All right, so that was all the comments from Twitter. So we're gonna go and make our way to YouTube. Let me add the screen here real quick. All right, there we go. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? I'm an introvert. I try to stick to myself. I'm not a complete asshole to people. If people come up to me and they want to talk, I will offer. I'll offer I'll offer a conversation starter. I'm not completely against talking to people, but I prefer to stick to myself. So, favorite Madden games. Old school Madden, like Madden 08. I know Madden 08 wasn't like great or anything like that, but Madden 08 was cool. I liked Madden 12. Like I feel like Madden 12 was the last great Madden, and then after that it went downhill. I've not played a Madden game in so long. So yeah, your questions are coming. There's a lot of them. Your questions are kind of filling out the rest, so we'll figure it out. Favorite Transformers character? Megatron. I've always been attracted to the villain for sure. That's why I gravitate more towards heels and wrestling too. So that's what I really like that stuff too. Yeah, Madden 12 was the last great Madden. It actually it wasn't the worst game I've ever played. Like if you look at Madden now, the graphics might be good, but the gameplay just isn't realistic enough for me. I understand people like that arcadey bullshit, but I want a mix of both. It's the same way for like the WWE franchise where I want a mix of both arcade and realism because I don't want it to be super realistic and then I lose my fun after a match or two or after a game. I want to turn the shit off. You know what I mean? So which means you like keeping the same old friends and not meeting new people. I don't mind meeting new people. I'm more or less like I wouldn't go out of my way to meet new people. If they came to me, then yeah, I would, I would offer a conversation. I'm not too open, but I will definitely talk to you. No doubt. Josh Carl, 2K20, I'm not excited. You shouldn't be. 2K25 really doesn't look great at all. I've seen the screenshots. They've improved on faces. Specifically, Cody Rhodes' face looks better. Liv Morgan's face model looks great. But it's the same thing with 2K every year with the WWE franchise. They release nice screenshots. People get excited, and then they dip out. So I bought the game, I think, like 3 or 4 months into the lifespan. I bought the deluxe edition. I usually always buy deluxe edition, so I have to waste more money on a fucking season pass later on. I'll probably do the same thing. I wasn't really satisfied with 2K24. I have a lot of hours on it, but a lot of that time was trying to find good impressions here. So, do you have Instagram? Yeah, but I don't use it, so it's not even worth it. ESPN NFL football also. ESPN NFL 2K4 is better than ESPN. I don't really remember 2K. 2K5 I remember was great. I don't really remember 2K4 too much, but 2K5 was great. The presentation was great. It's crazy that a game that came out 20 years ago now has better presentation than Madden. It's ridiculous to me. Do you think Marvel animation is underrated? Like what do you mean? Like what if? Like explain more. I haven't really watched Marvel animation, to be honest with you. Arcade is way better than simulation. I like a mix of both. I think that the SmackDown versus Raw games did these fantastically. Stuff now is just not it for me. The one thing with 2K I fucking hate is the new fighting stance is bullshit. Your character will let's say I'm playing as Roman Reigns. He's squaring up like he's in a fucking boxing match. I don't like that shit. That shit is ass. So get rid of it. Mr. Quake. Heroes are boring and pretentious and a-holes than the villains themselves. I mean, sometimes I just find myself more interested on the bad guy because the hero, for the most part, especially if they're an established hero, you know their story, you know what they're about, you know what they are. The villain is more intriguing because you don't know exactly why they are the way they are. And that's interesting to me, especially if I play a new game, watch a movie, read a book, read an article, whatever. If there's a character involved that's evil, I want to know more about them to potentially sympathize with them and or just like them as a character. NCAA football 14 was good stuff, better than this new one. I played the new one a little bit. I bought it. It's not bad per se. I was just expecting, I guess I was expecting too much from EA because people were gaslighting this shit up so much, and it was disappointing because the gameplay's not awful, right? The gameplay's fine, but I have more nostalgia for 14. I used to emulate that shit. But yeah, I agree with you. Antihero, do you have any favorite sports games? I haven't really played a sports game in like a sports game that I really liked in a long time. Like I said before, SmackDown versus Raw was fantastic. 07 is my favorite. Even 08, even though it's not as good as 07, I had a lot of fun. Even the WWE, like WWE 12 was great. WWE 14 those were always good games to me. I never had any problems with them. And they had a lot of features that you can get invested in. But now you in the current 2K, you have universe mode, which is buggy to all fucking hell. GM mode is not, it's not fleshed out. It's boring. You have play now, which is the only feasible fucking feature you can use. The creation suite is limited. You can't have a lot of superstars. It's just, it's ridiculous. They made 2K24 worse with updates. My calls got bald. Yeah, dude, I had the same fucking problem. My creator wrestlers, like that I had downloaded off of Community Creations, they were getting bald. I had this alternate attire for Liv Morgan, and like a texture from a custom championship got labeled right onto her face, and no matter what I do, I can't get it off. So I had to delete the thing, and I thought maybe re-downloading the attire. It's the same fucking thing. This is a buggy ass fucking game, and I don't understand why 2K even still has the fucking right to this shit. I'm tired of it. Arcade is like comedy and simulation is like drama. Yeah, arcade, like I like the old school like Streets of Rage type of gameplay. That would be great for WWE in a 3D setting. I just don't understand why they have to go super into simulation. I don't know who's asking for simulation wrestling, because you could just watch it on TV. I want goofball shit. I want to be able to pick somebody up as Brock Lesnar and throw them across the fucking ring. That's what I want to do. I want to play as Hulk Hogan and toss them into the fucking bleachers. That'd be great. 2K is like the new Jordan and an iPhone. Same thing over and over. Yeah. See, that's the problem. 2K20, I think WWE 2K20 put a huge sour in people's mouths to where they accepted the bare minimum as quality, which it shouldn't be that way. You should have looked at 2K20 and be like, okay, I never want something like this. I want something better. And they didn't do that. Here Comes the Pain will forever be my number one. Yeah, Here Comes the Pain was great. From what I remember back in the day on the PS2, fantastic gameplay. Better gameplay than now. It's scary to me that your mainline games now are not as good as they used to be from gameplay perspective. Why is gameplay now slower on my PlayStation 5 than it was on my PS2? What was the point of upgrading my PS5? What was the point of even upgrading at all? It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. Have you played The Punisher on PS2? No, I didn't even know there was a Punisher game on PS2. Is that any good? Let me know. Do you think WWE games nowadays is more arcade? No, it's actually more simulation. Like I said before, you can't do any arcade moves. You can't throw people into the stands. You can't hit an F5 and the guy goes rolling out of the ring. You can't do that. It's definitely catered towards simulation-based wrestling, which is boring. I still have Here Comes the Pain copy of my PS2 box set. Yo, honestly, I think a sealed, like if it's sealed, I think it's worth a decent amount of money. So if you have it sealed, do not open it. I think even open copies go for a lot. So check that out. If you're willing to sell, find somebody who's willing to give you a lot of money for it. Fleece them. I don't care. Who is the best heel of all time to you and the best face? Best heel, Vince McMahon. I think Vince, the reason Vince was such a great heel is because you could fucking hate him. You really could hate that motherfucker. And he did whatever he could to be hated by the fans. And I love that about a heel. That's what you should be doing. And best baby face, I don't know, man. Maybe it's like a debate between like John Cena, The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Those are my picks. Lowell, you're gonna be here for a while with all those questions. Yeah, I mean, I understand you're curious, so I'll definitely get to them for sure. I like realism when it's actually fun, like in the driving in GTA 4. Yeah, dude. GTA 4, a lot of people complained about the driving. It's actually fairly realistic compared to like GTA 5. The fact that the cars in GTA 4 feel a lot more real. They feel harder to control. And don't even get me started on fucking bikes. Bikes control in that game fucking suck from what I remember. Oh, I meant to be like the most violent Marvel game ever released. I played it and it's badass. Oh yeah, of course. If it's cool, um, maybe I'll check out. If I can get it on emulation, I could definitely check it out. Maybe play it for the channel. That's cool. I think what's making cause glitch are mods from PC that thus making the console versions broken. Since Community Creations is crossplay downloaded, but they need to fix that shit ASAP. Yeah, for real. I'm sick and tired of downloading a CAW and randomly after an update, it's bald. Like I had an Edge call because I downloaded him. I wanted to play as him, and I load into the next update after the DLC had dropped, and he's bald. And I'm like, what the fuck? And what you have to do is manually go in and readjust the hair. It's bullshit. 2K needs to fix their fucking game. Thoughts on Halo? I played Halo 2 and it was great. Halo is definitely one of the best Xbox series ever. So if you have an Xbox and you've never played it, I recommend playing it. I haven't done business at GameStop since they screwed me over on a DualShock 4 controller I had. Offered me 15 for it, but yet they're gonna resell for 55. Fuck out of here. Yeah, shoot, dude. That's what. Don't ever trade your games on GameStop because they will give you the bare minimum for games, accessories, consoles, collectibles. You're better off just selling on eBay. Go on eBay or offer up and actually get fucking really good stuff for it. So the Punisher game on PS2 is really good, but also extremely violent. I don't care about violence. Like that's cool. Like I play Dead Space. Dead Space is fucking violent as shit. I play The Last of Us. That's violent as shit. Violence is not a problem. As long as the story's good and the character's badass, which Punisher is a badass character, I'll play that fucking game. No doubt. WWE didn't show the bikini contest on their Vault YouTube channel when they were showing ECW house show from 2006. I'm not surprised. This is what we're talking about when we talk about the failed era, the censorship. Instead of showing the live sex celebration and the bikini contest, they're going to axe that out from history. And people that have watched this, they're going to be like, what the fuck? There's a reason, if you saw on Netflix, there's a bunch of episodes of Raw that are not there anymore. Why do you think that is? They're trying to erase it. Little Vince getting taken out by Money Jumbotron and calling out for Paul. Yeah, that shit is hilarious. I played all of GTA 4 Complete Addiction on my channel, and the only complaint about the driving I had is when you're driving a bike. Yeah, that for me, that's valid because the bike control is actual dog shit. The car control, it takes some time to get used to, but after a while, you'll be able to control it. It's not that difficult. The bike, on the other hand, man, fuck that shit. You're better off just jacking a car, bro. I miss Jimmy Cutler or Carter. Oh yeah, he died. Yo, rest in peace, Jimmy Carter. I saw that. He was 100 years old. Rest in peace, dude. Johnny Lawrence in Cobra Kai is really cool. Cool ass hero. Meanwhile, Kreese and Terry Silver are good villains. I have not watched Cobra Kai since season 3. I've heard good things and I've heard bad things. So if you want me to review it, I possibly could if it's on Netflix. What's up, Lisa? How you doing? It's good to see you. Rank the better Austin 2001 matches. Austin Rock Mania 17, HHH Austin versus Benoit Y2J, Austin versus 3 Stages of Hell, No Way Out. 3 Stages of Hell was great. I put that at 3. I'm trying to remember the Benoit match, if that was great or not. I'm going to put that at 5 for now. I can't really remember. Austin Rock 17, I put that at number 1. Austin and Angle, SummerSlam, that'd be 2. And then what else was I missing? Yeah, I think that's a sufficient list. From what I can remember, that's what I remember. Most overrated wrestlers from each era: Golden, New Generation, Attitude, Ruthless Aggression. Golden. Who the fuck was on there? Who was overrated at that time? I know this is kind of controversial, but Jimmy Snuka. I don't understand the hype between Jimmy Snuka. I've heard great things, but he's a fucking weirdo. New Generation. Fuck. Diesel. Diesel was the lowest drawing champion for a long time before Kevin Owens, so I put Diesel there. He was very limited to what he could do in the ring. He was charismatic, but he never really had a great moveset. He was kind of boring sometimes. Attitude. Fuck. Was there really anybody overrated in the Attitude Era? I'm gonna skip overrated. I'm gonna skip Attitude Era because I can't really remember. Ruthless Aggression. Who was somebody they were clamoring over? I'd say Benoit, because with Benoit, I don't understand the hype between this guy. He never had charisma. He was boring. He was a vanilla midget. Nobody fucking cares about that guy. I know I don't. PRW. Apparently, the censorship that Netflix Raw episode on the "fuck you" solo chants and the Travis Scott smoking a blunt. So much for WWE going edgy. They fucking censored that in the replay? Really? They didn't censor it on the live broadcast, so they in the replay they fucking wow. So what happened to Triple H saying, "Oh, you're gonna go ahead, Jim. You're gonna see things you never seen before." Blah blah blah. What happened to all that shit, Triple H? You threw that shit out the fucking window. Top 5 favorite WrestleMania matches. Let's see. Kurt Angle versus Eddie Guerrero was great. Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels was great. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. The Rock versus any of the Rock versus Stone Cold matches were always great, and Rock versus Hogan. That's what I would do. Do you ever want to up with Kane Hardcore? Who's that? I have no idea who that is. I'm sorry. I don't know who that fucking is. Watch them censor the entire Trish and Vince mistress affair. I will guarantee they're not even going to add that episode. That episode is definitely getting cut. Out of any of the episodes that you could think of, that one's getting cut. So good luck on that. IWC channel I say is last stream is bad. They defended which channel? Because you have to take these with a grain of salt because these people want a job with WWE. I would love to work with WWE, but I'm not going to sacrifice my dignity and my actual opinions to suck off Triple H. It's just not going to happen. Whoever that channel was, let me know. How was Jimmy Snuka a weirdo? He's a murderer. Isn't he? He was acquitted, but didn't Vince McMahon defend him in court and covered that shit up? I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know. CM, thoughts on Obafemi? He just beat Trick Williams. I like Obafemi. I would say he needs to kind of tone up a little bit. He's got a gut. I'm not a big fan of that, but he's a big guy, so he doesn't look overweight. He's good, no doubt. He's main roster ready. He's got that Nigerian gimmick. He plays it better than Apollo Crews. I start him off in the mid card. I would probably have him beat Shinsuke Nakamura right away because Shinsuke Nakamura is a non-draw. He's in his 40s. Nobody gives a fuck about Shinsuke like that. So promote Oba, promote Trick, promote Tony D'Angelo. That's what I would do. Ricky Steamboat overrated. Yeah. Okay. Golden era. Yeah, for sure. Ricky Steamboat. He was talented, but people comparing him to like Roddy Piper, Macho Man, Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, he was not a top draw. So I would agree with you with that. Hot take in my opinion. Most overrated match is Rock Austin 17. That finish sucked. I'm sorry. Ruined the match and essentially killed their business for a long time. Granted, with hindsight, but still awful. Yeah, I agree. I couldn't. My memory is awful when it comes to matches. I haven't seen it a lot. All I remember was I was entertained by the match. So I guess that's why I put it so high. But I respect your opinion, Josh. Dean Malenko, yeah. Wait, was he ruthless or was he attitude? I think he was attitude. You could also lump Lance Storm in there, I guess.
Yeah, they did do it on replay. Fuck, dude, fuck Netflix. How are you going to pay $5 billion for a conglomerate, right? And not take it seriously? Why can't WWE actually be edgy? Why can't we allow the wrestlers to do the shit like that? I don't understand. I'm trying to understand, but it's bullshit. Favorite WWE couples? Trish, no, not Trish. Trish and Christian was not bad. They made it work. Edge and Lita, obviously. I'm not gonna say Liv and Dom. I've not seen enough. I'm not gonna say Dom and Rhea either. I haven't seen enough of them. Who else? I can't really remember. Damn, my memory is awful. Okay, this is a great one, Lisa. I appreciate it. Top 5 favorite video games. Okay. I'm gonna start at 5. 5, I will put the original Dead Space. I'd put that at number 5. It's still holds up to this day. It was released in 2008. The graphics they're dated, but they're not dated to the point where you're like, damn, I don't want to fucking play this game. The scares are great. I always enjoy that. Ratchet and Clank 2 Going Commando is a classic for PS2. I'd put that at 4. 3, I'd put God of War. I don't either 2018 or Ragnarok, because even though they're not as action packed as the originals, the character development, the characters are great, the storyline's great. I can always get behind that. Number 2, I'm putting Dead Space 2. It takes everything that was done in the first Dead Space and makes it better by a lot. And my favorite game of all time is probably the original Last of Us. The story was great. Characters are phenomenal. There's a reason Joel is my profile picture. I fucking love that guy. And yeah, for sure. Those are my top picks. Do you think Chris Benoit was the reason WWE went PG? I think eventually they would have went PG, dude. Like, I don't think, because I feel like Vince McMahon always wanted his show to be for families to sit down and watch. I think Benoit's tragedy definitely increased that by a lot. There's no doubt in my mind. But I don't want to say that he was the sole reason. I feel like at some point they were going to turn PG. So, yeah, I agree with you, Josh, for sure. When did you start watching wrestling? Did you take any breaks? I started watching wrestling in 2005, I think, 2006. I was younger at the time, and from my memories of wrestling started in 2008, 2009. I was infatuated with John Cena. I like John Cena, Randy Orton, Triple H, Batista, Brock Lesnar, all those guys. I stopped watching wrestling like full time around like 2019 was when I stopped watching fully, because you had Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins and Kofi as champions. It was just a nightmare. And then I started making videos after that. What's your thoughts on Julia? The younger, more attractive Asuka, and potentially could potentially get over on the main roster with the right gimmick, and or what I'd recommend for her immediately, and I said this in the stream with Lisa, she needs to get into the promo classes, and she needs to immediately learn how to cut a promo in English. So, all right, let me go to YouTube here. I want to answer some of these questions because there's a lot. So, Challenger John, he left 5 here. I'll have to catch your streams and videos, so I'll try to help and add some questions. Number 1, what is your favorite and least favorite WrestleMania? Favorite, the one I had the most memories with, probably WrestleMania 25, WrestleMania 26 is like stuff like that. 28 wasn't awful. 27 wasn't awful either, but the worst one for me, the worst WrestleMania was WrestleMania 30. Excuse me. When I first watched it, growing up, I thought it was okay, but it's not. When you look at it, you had the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Cesaro won that, and what happened to Cesaro? He turned out to be a boring jobber without Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger and the Real American bullshit. Daniel Bryan beats all the members of Evolution at once. which is crazy to me. The fact that he was able to do that, that was an awful decision. CM Punk walked out. WrestleMania 30 was just a fucking awful time for WWE, and they know it too. I think they realized they made a mistake, but it's too late, and they turned into the Mark bullshit for sure. Yeah, I agree with you, Lisa. That's why I mentioned that too. So, next question: out of the alternatives to WWE, which promotion did you like, if at all? WCW, TNA, or AEW? Well, immediately AEW's out the list because I've never watched AEW and I can't properly gauge it. But from what I remember of like mid 2000s, TNA was pretty good. I wasn't really watching WCW, but I've went back and looked at it. Good stuff. Definitely, there was a reason why I was beating WWF at the time. So AEW is not even in the equation. It's between WCW and TNA. But yeah, those were always great times for me. Wrestling has been on a continuous downward trend ratings wise since the PG era of 2008. Is there any hope to save it from dwindling ratings and attendance? Ratings, I hate to say it, no. The reason I mention this is because with Triple H in power, it's just not going to happen. He's done so much damage to that roster and to the characters that could potentially be something on that show that there's no reason to really tune in. There's no reason to really care. And now I'll tune in once in a while to see what's going on, to make content, but it's not something I watched Raw on Netflix and it wasn't good. It's not something I'm actively looking out for. So attendance, they could fix attendance. I don't believe they're selling out every show. I think TKO is pulling a Tony Khan and buying up a bunch of seats and just giving them to people to make the illusion that they sold out. And another thing about the Raw debut is there were people walking out actively after the Drew McIntyre or during the Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso match. People were walking out. That's awful. People should want to stay the entire time. They shouldn't want to walk the fuck out. Ratings, no, but attendance, they definitely could improve upon. Have you gone to any live shows and what was your experience? I've never been to a wrestling show, but I've been to 2 concerts. I've been to baseball games and a hockey game. The concerts, I saw Lenny Kravitz and Guns N' Roses in 2018, something like that. We were at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. It was a great show. I didn't know too much about Guns N' Roses, but I enjoyed it, and Lenny Kravitz was really good as an opener. Then the second show in Camden, New Jersey, I saw Megadeth, Metal Church, Suicidal Tendencies, Amon Amarth, and I think that was it. Yeah, me and my dad, we got dirt cheap fucking pit seats, and we were able to be in a mosh pit while those great metal bands were playing. The best atmosphere was definitely the hockey game. I went to a Philadelphia Flyers game. It was I think it was a game they needed to win to be in the playoffs. And the energy in that stadium was incredible. Everybody was cheering. You could tell people really gave a fuck about their team. They ended up losing, but I did get a Travis Konecny jersey, like a legit worn jersey. And that was like a memento to always remember the game by. But yeah, the environment was definitely crazy for the Flyers. The best time I had was at that Megadeth concert because I was a fan. I'm still a fan of Megadeth, and I discovered Metal Church and Amon Amarth as well. So, 5, is the NFL rigged if the Chiefs three-peat? I have conspiracies. Well, if they three-peat, they would be the first NFL team to ever three-peat in the Super Bowl. That has never happened ever, to my knowledge. And I'm going to be real with you, Challenger John. The way that the Chiefs have been playing this year, they do not look like Super Bowl contenders at all. They look like first-round exits if they didn't have a first-round bye. I think that the Bills are better than them. Now, problem I have with the Bills is that they fuck up in the playoffs. They have really good regular seasons. Josh Allen plays like he's the MVP of the league all the fucking time. But when it comes to the playoffs, he shits the bed. The Ravens are really good as well, but it's weird. Like, the Chiefs really pull it out in the playoffs. They could suck ass in the regular season, but they will still win in the playoffs. I don't want them to win. I'm an Eagles fan. I would love to see us win another Super Bowl. It would be great, but the refs are definitely on the side of Patrick Mahomes. He hasn't been playing that great this year. From what I've seen, he hasn't played that very well. He's been outplayed by Josh Allen, and their record's 15-1. It's a mind fuck. They're not as good as I think they are. So if they win, it's a talking point for sure. I think the conspiracy heads would definitely fucking immediately get on that. So I hope they don't win, because it reminds me of Alabama. It reminds me of the Patriots. We need more teams coming up, younger teams, to getting Super Bowl victories. That's what I want. Jamie Little Assad asks, what is your favorite video game series of all time? For me, I'm really leaning towards The Last of Us. For me, that's what I'm leaning towards. I'm leaning towards The Last of Us, Dead Space, Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank. The original Watch Dogs was very good. Watch Dogs 2 was I wouldn't say it's like my favorite video game of all time, but yeah, for sure. Dead Space, Sly Cooper's cool. I haven't played too much of it, but yeah. So we got Edge Runner. Edge Runner has the most questions here. I'm gonna scroll through this real quick. Holy shit, dude. It's 40 fucking questions. I don't know if I can answer all this shit, bro. You want me to answer all that? Fuck. All right, fuck it. We're gonna start. First question from Edge Runner. How exactly did you become a wrestling fan? My family liked wrestling enough to play it, and I think we had an episode of Raw on, and I was interested, and I started watching. I was a little young to kind of like not really understand. I just watched it, and I evolved into a fan. I liked guys like John, I like people like Randy, Brock, Triple H. I even liked Punk at one point. I think a lot of people liked him because everybody thought he was anti-establishment until you found out what he truly was, his true colors were. But yeah, I'd say around like 2006, 2007-ish is when I like became a fan, and then I started watching in 2008 through like 2017-ish, 2018, 2019, and then I kind of quit out because of the whole Becky Lynch bullshit that was forced down everybody's throats and nobody wanted to be bothered with. So yeah, fuck that. Favorite wrestling promotion of all time and least. Favorite is obviously WWE. That's the most I've had. I've had the most experience with that. Least, for me, anything that is like indie bullshit is my least favorite company. So like AEW, like when TNA was about all their bullshit, I didn't like them. Ring of Honor, GCW, XPW, bullshit like that. New Japan. I don't like the indie style. And anytime you mention that, people get all fucked up about it and they become upset. So give me one moment. I got to get a drink. My throat is killing me. Give me 1 second. But yeah, any company that promotes indie wrestling, I'm not a fan of. Even WWE doing it, I'm not a fan. But I won't say I'm not a fan of them anymore. 4 or 3. Who is more annoying as a booker, Triple H or Tony Khan? I would say Triple H because he's so headstrong on everything he does. Tony Khan is just a dork with his action figures who doesn't really care about losing money or not. He just wants the best. He wants to put on his bangers. Triple H, it's very much of for me with Triple H, I don't like how he's all about promoting his NXT Black and Gold children. I think it's very immature of him. I think he should not have favorites. He should be pushing people that make him money. And the fact of the matter is the favorites that he has does not make him money at all. Dakota Kai ain't pulling in numbers. Becky Lynch ain't pulling in numbers. Rhea Ripley's not pulling in numbers. These people are not legit. So I would say Triple H because he's so headstrong on his decisions. He's very stubborn too. That's why I fucking hate that shit about Triple H. Is that he's so headstrong on everything he does. He's insecure. He's threatened by anybody who has semblance of charisma because they could potentially ruin his legacy or the lack their legacy of being a 14-time champion. It's just I would say Triple H And it's also because of his fans. Like the Triple H Dick Riders pushed this guy so far to where people do not want to be fucking bothered with this guy anymore. So that's my opinion on Triple H. 4, controversial question, but I feel like I have to ask it. Your overall thoughts on Chris Benoit, and what do you believe happened in that house that weekend? Benoit was just not, for me, not talented enough to be a main eventer. He was a vanilla midget. He was in decent shape. He was good in the ring. He couldn't cut a promo. He had intensity, but he had no charisma. As a wrestler, Chris Benoit was as average as you possibly could be. The only difference between him and Lance Storm is that he was bigger than Lance Storm because he hit the gym and he was on roids. So I'm not a big fan of Benoit. What happened in the house? I do not know what exactly happened in the house, but I believe he did kill his family. I don't want to go into too much detail with it because it's just, I don't want bad omen on me. So fuck that. 5, is the Montreal Screwjob one of the greatest works or shoots? It's the best work. It's not a shoot, because if it was a shoot, why were the cameras immediately, as soon as Bret Hart spit on Vince McMahon, why were the cameras immediately going right on Vince, wiping the saliva off his face? You can't make that shit up. And for everybody that thinks it's a work, it reminds me of the pipe bomb, where people think it was a shoot. That the pipe bomb wasn't a shoot. It was pre-approved by Vince McMahon. I'm sure Vince and Bret Hart fucking talked it over with Shawn Michaels. They all agreed on it at one point. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. It's definitely a work. It's not a shoot. 6, favorite WWE Raw of all time, worst Raw ever. The worst Raw for me is anything in 2019. I never found any semblance of great Raws from that time. And the Netflix debut, it was extremely underwhelming for what they were presenting it to be, and it flopped hard. Best Raws, Mankind winning the title and Stone Cold returning. That was a great memory for me. When Stone Cold pointed a gun at Vince McMahon, Kurt Angle and his milk truck, and really anything from the Attitude Era is like my favorite shit. So, 8, would you consider watching WCW 2000 and reviewing it, comparing to WWE now? Yeah, I could do that. If I could definitely, if there's WCW 2000 on YouTube or whatever, or wherever I can find it, I could definitely review it and put it out on the channel. I'm sure people would want to see that, because yeah, it's better than what we have now. There's no doubt in my mind about it. From what I remember, it's definitely better. Do you feel like this generation's video games suck? Yeah, I would say the video games now are pussified. They're not as good as they once were. Like the thing I was mentioning about with, Madden and, SmackDown versus Raw, is that these games were made over 20 years ago, and they play better than most games in their genre now. And they had way more features. Dude, also another thing about those games is the music. EA used to shovel out money for fucking good music. Same thing with 2K, with Ukes and THQ. They would fucking flood a bunch of money for some great music, man. Drowning Pool, Slipknot, Seether. I think even some Metallica songs were in Madden. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's a great deal of amazing fucking songs that were in these games. You just don't have it now. I do think there are good games from this generation, but I think that the bad outweighs the good for me. I find myself going back to the older generation of games. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. 12. How did you find TWRP? I found Technical Work Rate Productions one night when I was just chilling in my bed. I was watching some sort of video, and I saw a video pop up. I cannot remember the video, but it was definitely a Sucks video, and I clicked on it, and I was like, oh, these guys are fucking hilarious. And I started watching more of their videos, and I was like, wow, these guys they're kind of saying what I thought about wrestling at the time, because I wasn't a fan anymore. I tuned out, and they were saying, we want charisma back, we want characters, where are the storylines at? The booking is just atrocious. NXT's not a developmental. They were saying all this stuff that I thought, and I started watching them, and then I think a year later, I made my original channel, and from there, I started making videos until my other channel got hacked. Hopefully, it doesn't happen now. But yeah, that's how I found out about TWRP, is through randomly finding one of their videos in my recommendations for YouTube. So I'm glad I found them because I wouldn't have made a channel without them for sure. 13. Do you ever see professional wrestling ever being good again? Like I said before, you need a promoter who knows wrestling and knows TV, kind of knows what they need to do to make wrestling great. You need somebody like Vince Russo, somebody like a Vince McMahon, not exactly those two, but you need a younger version of both of them who understands TV, who understands what their demographic is looking for in a show. And then from there, you can definitely have wrestling shows that are catered towards adults that could be PG and fun at the same time. The PG format now, there's not much really to have fun with. There's not a lot of freedom. So I think finding somebody like Vince Russo, finding somebody like an Ed Ferrara, people who understood TV, people who watched TV a lot, because Vince Russo used to talk about how he would watch TV a lot. He would watch the Maury Show and Jerry Springer and find out what people really enjoyed, and he would inflict that into WWE. And there's a reason why the ratings went up. You need people like that. You need an Ed Ferrara, Vince Russo, Vince McMahon. You just need younger versions of those people. Triple H is just not getting the job done. He doesn't know what draws, and I don't think he ever fucking will admit that because he's so head fast into his decisions. So fuck him. 14. If you were in charge of WWE or AEW for 1 year, what are your 5 major changes that you would do to either company? Tony and Noseman are both gone, so you can't fire them. Okay, so we're taking over WWE because I know more about their roster. Noseman's gone. That's great. First step, I'm bringing in The Rock and Brian Gewirtz. They're going to be on my creative team, and we will be creating stories from now on. Fuck all these college writers. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Again, I'm bringing in people who understand the reality of TV, what people are interested at the time, people who watch movies, people who like TV, who know what like if I'm looking for 18 to 25, I'm hiring people who know how to write for 18 to 25-year-old men. That's first off. Second of all, I'm taking the talents we have now, and most of them are getting repackaged. Like Rhea Ripley's getting repackaged. Cody Rhodes would be cut, but if I had to keep him, he would definitely be repackaged. A lot of these gimmicks are not. They're not. I don't want to say casual friendly. They're just not right for the actual person. They're not right for them. Cody Rhodes is a jobber. I definitely cut him. I definitely do that. 3, I would put people in the spots that they need to be to make us money. At the end of the day, WWE is a business just like any other fucking conglomerate on the planet. And you need to make money to make sure that your company stays on top and just stays financially securable. So guys like Braun Breaker, Roman Reigns, Trick Williams, Obafemi, Drew McIntyre, those guys would be getting pushes. And then for the women, a lot of the NXT women would get pushes. Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez, Jade Cargill. A lot of these girls that have potential, Jada Parker, Lola Vice, they would be getting pushed for me. 4, I would try to push for TV 14 so I could be a little bit more edgy with my programming. And 5, I would try to just make it great. Make the creative team great. Make the stories great. It's really not that hard. I would have to, maybe that's a separate video of like things I would do to make WWE better. But yeah, that's what I would do. 15, how do you see Cena being booked in his final year? Sadly, Cena's going to job. I don't see a reality where Cena goes in and beats Cody or beats Gunther. Now, that's the best scenario for me. For that scenario, my best scenario would be Rock versus Cena or Cena versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania. But that's just not going to happen based off what Triple H is doing. Cena's entering the Rumble. He might win it, and he's probably going to job to Gunther or Cody. That's not, nobody wants to fucking see that. Let's be real. But that's what Triple H is more than likely going to do because he needs to push his Cody narrative because he feels bad for Dusty Rhodes. So, 16, non-wrestling related, but have you ever had any paranormal experience happening to you? Do you believe in ghosts? Yeah, I've had many experiences, some that are unexplainable, some evil, some bad. Spiritual entities have visited me. I felt cold spots in the air. I've heard footsteps. I've heard laughing. It's creepy as fuck. Some of the shit I don't even remember. But there was one time I was sleeping in my bed and I was in a living room at the time. That's where my bed was located because I was at my uncle's house and I was having trouble sleeping. I don't know why. I just couldn't fall asleep. I looked to the corner and there's just like this massive black figure that was slumped. When it hit the height of the ceiling, it was slumped over. So the back of the creature, whatever it was, told me that this thing was way bigger. I got one look at it. It was fully black. It was dark. It was scary. And I fucking hid under it like a little bitch. And I'd say like 15 minutes later, I looked up. It was gone. I definitely believe it was some form of evil spirit. And it was genuinely fucking terrifying. But I've had experiences with demons, but I don't feel comfortable talking about that at night, considering they might fucking visit me and try to kill me. So fuck that. 17. Will you do a live stream going over AEW's roster and what changes you would make since you did the WWE? I would need somebody who knows about AEW. I don't know about AEW enough to do it by myself. I would need somebody to come on with me who understands AEW, who's watched it, who knows the roster, to potentially give more of a better insight than I do. Now, I could have done the roster stream by myself for WWE because I'm more familiar with that roster than a lot of people, but I would need somebody like, Lisa Green or anybody who knows what AEW is about to come on. Take a sip from my soda. Pepsi. 18. What year do you personally believe in WWE started to slowly fall off and started to cater more to hardcore and marks? 2014. WrestleMania 30. Definitely that was the awakening period for the Smarks. And for me, the ultimate kill for the WWE is 2019. I mentioned before, Becky Lynch, double champion. Seth Rollins was the Universal Champion, and Kofi Kingston was the WWE Champion. All three of them were some of the lowest rating drawing champions of all time. So fuck every single one of them. They all fucking suck, and they definitely led to the degradation of pro wrestling. All three of them. That's my answer for that, at least in my opinion. 19. If WCW and ECW were alive today, what do you think they'd be up to? If WCW is alive, if it was around, it could potentially, if it had the right creative minds, compete with WWE, unlike AEW. And ECW, if it didn't have the funds, it would just not, it would be a garage fed. It would be a backyard fed. I hate to say it. It would be the same thing that Paul Heyman had before. I'm sad that WCW had to die because that was the one legitimate competition for WWE, and they just haven't had that going forward. So sadly, the ratings really nosedived in 2015 after Cena went part-time and all these indie jobbers took over the main event. Yeah. That's when you saw, who was the main eventer in 2015? Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, Finn Balor was in NXT, Samoa Joe, a bunch of these garbage fucking people that don't fucking talk, that don't know how to cut promos, that suck ass. So I agree with you on that, Lisa. 20. Would Vince Russo be able to fix pro wrestling if he was in charge, or has the damage been done so much that it's completely unfixable? Vince Russo, I don't think he wants to be in the fucking industry anymore. I could be wrong, but he's content doing his podcast, and I'm happy for him. If it's completely unsavable, it's not unsavable. You need, like I said before, you need a promoter who understands wrestling. You need a competent writing team. You need competent talents that look like stars, and you need a competent presentation, and you could potentially have a show that draws 5 to 6 million viewers a week. You're just not getting that now. Vince Russo is a great creative mind. He could do something with the roster. I have no doubt in my mind he could potentially get people over on this roster, but I think you have to kind of look for the youth. Like how I'm talking about with the youth on the roster, how we should push younger guys. You need to find people who are like Vince Russo that are younger, who could go for 20 years and creative and potentially even longer than that. But I'm happy for Russo. I'm happy that he's able to do what he loves. So congratulations. 21. Top 5 music artists of all time. Top 5 worst. Also, why do people like making people like Doja Cat and the Spice Girl, orange hair, sexy Radix? The second part to that question, It's because it's manufactured music. It's made to corrupt the youth. Like Sexy Red and Glorilla, they talk about is vagina and ass and fucking dudes. For that music to be pushed to younger audiences is concerning to me. And anybody who lets their children listen to Glorilla, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Meg The Stallion, Sexy Red, it's you are part of the problem. I don't think your kids should be listening to music like that. Now, I'm not a parent, so I get it if you think I'm ignorant for some reason, but you shouldn't make your kids should not be fucking listening to that bullshit. Favorite music artists. I guess they're not artists, but Linkin Park, Metallica, Megadeth, Bullet for My Valentine, Seether, Green Day, Anthrax, Slayer, fucking shit, Papa Roach, Avenged Sevenfold, Sepultura. Yeah, those are some of the best. Top 5 worst. Anything modern rap for me. I've really tried to listen to modern rap and try to find the enjoyment that people have, but I can't. It's a lot of the same beats, especially with like Glorilla and Sexy Red. Their music is identical except for different type of voices. So fuck them. Where do you see WWE's ratings in the next 5 years? So for SmackDown is definitely dipping below 1 million before WrestleMania. I think after WrestleMania they'll get a decent pop, but then they'll go down. I think if SmackDown's ratings get below a 6, they will get canceled. They will not be renewed. They will be on fucking Netflix and nobody will be watching. So that is assuming that Netflix keeps the deal. If Netflix opts out because they're not satisfied with WWE's numbers, WWE in a way is fucked unless Disney outright buys them to put them on Disney Plus or whatever. But that will lead to an even more degraded, bullshit, family-friendly fucking product if it goes to Disney. So hopefully they get their shit together. 23. You are trying to get your casual friend who's never watched wrestling or hasn't watched in years into modern day wrestling. How do you pull it off without losing their friendship? You must get them to watch. Fuck. It's a great fucking question. That's really creative, Edge Runner. Fuck. That's really... So if I had a casual friend who's not watching years, I would show them the NXT women. First, I would start with the NXT women's division because NXT's women's division, outside of a couple like Zarya and a couple others, I think are all very talented and definitely could do something on the main roster. They're also sexy chicks. I'd show him that. I would show him Liv Morgan, show them Braun Breaker, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre. I would show them all the people that are potential draws. Now, it would be tough to get them to sit down and watch because after those segments, now they're going to be wanting to tune out because it's some Bronson Reed bullshit or fucking Braun Strowman. They're not going to want to watch that. So it'd be definitely difficult. I could get them to sit down to watch those segments, but the entire show, no. 24. I noticed you have Joel as your avatar. So I had to ask the controversial question. Your overall thoughts on T-Lao 2. The Last of Us Part 2 it's a game. I'll say that. It's a fun game. It's a really fun game to play. It has some of the best third-person gunplay I've ever seen. I love Ellie. Ellie's one of my favorite characters from the first game. It's interesting to see how her descent into madness happens after her father figure Joel Miller dies, which is my avatar, one of my favorite characters ever. I think the execution on Abby's playable segment is definitely a problem. I think potentially having Abby's segment as a DLC of sorts could have alleviated some of the bullshit that went on, or potentially switching back and forth during key moments could have helped out the game. I overall think that the story is lackluster. I understand what they were going for. Kind of, you have to, revenge isn't all it's up to me made out to be. I understand that. But little rant here. The way that they betrayed Joel as a character in the second game is a complete character assassination to what he was known to do in the first game. If you played The Last of Us Part 1, you know how Joel's character was. He was very pessimistic. He was very against people. He wanted to keep himself close and his family closer. this just the way that he acted around Abby wasn't the way that he was known to act at all. So I think The Last of Us 2 is a good game, but it assassinates your favorite character. Because a lot of people love Joel. That's why the outrage when he got killed off, that was why the outrage was super heavy. So yeah, it's a good game. I don't think it's an awful game at all. So Push Berry Fire, Mercedes Moné, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Ultimate Ego, Battle. Have fun answering this. Fuck. That's a tough question because they all fucking suck. Fuck. All of them are not draws. They all fucking suck. I guess I'm pushing CM Punk because I hate to say it, he's the biggest star out of the three, and he can sell merch, unlike Cody Rhodes and Mercedes. I'm gonna bury Mercedes because she can put over people on the main roster, and I'm firing Cody Rhodes because the overhype with Cody Rhodes and the dick sucking with Cody Rhodes is too much for me, and I'm tired of it. So fuck that. 26, Push Berry Fire, Cassius Ono, Kevin Owens, and Bronson Reed. Battle of the Fatties. Damn. Edge Runner, you really have some crazy ass questions, and I really appreciate it. Fuck. So I'm firing Cassius Ono. I'm burying Bronson Reed, and I'm going to push Kevin Owens because at least Kevin Owens can somewhat talk on the mic. He's somewhat competent on the mic, and he's not a complete fat ass like Bronson Reed. He is fat, don't get me wrong, but he has more redeeming qualities than Bronson Reed and Cassius Ono. So, 27, fuck, marry, kill, go. Stephanie McMahon, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch. Fuck. Ugh. Ew. So I'm fucking Becky Lynch. I'm marrying Charlotte Flair, and I'm killing Stephanie McMahon. Becky Lynch kind of has a nice body, I guess. So that's awful. I don't want to fuck any of them. I don't want to marry any of them. They're all garbage. CM Punk time travels back to ECW in the late 90s and has a match with New Jack. How long before New Jack breaks kayfabe on Punk? All it takes is Punk saying some stupid shit, and New Jack would tear him a new asshole for sure. So I would say Punk is a known bullshitter. Assuming he knows nothing about New Jack, I'd say about a minute or two. So let's see what we got here on the chat. Actually, the Chiefs are 15-2. Oh, yeah, that's right. They did lose to the Broncos. Right. I forgot about that. I'm going to just scroll down all the way to here. Okay, good. That's a good fucking point, Challenger. If I marry Steph, I'd be nose man. Yeah, fuck it. We're gonna change it up. I'm gonna kill Charlotte. We'll marry Nia so that we can be head booker of WWE and save WWE. So, great question. Lisa Green says, rank these guys from most to least washed. Rock, Cena, Orton, Edge, Jericho, Brock, Jeff. Least washed. So we're gonna start off with Brock. He's timeless. He's fucking fantastic. I'm gonna go Brock, Rock, Orton, Cena, Edge, Jeff Hardy, and Jericho. I think that's the list I'm gonna go with. Josh Carlos 98 says, you think Malachi Black is WWE bound since Fightful reported he's done with AEW? Yeah, I would say he's definitely going to go to WWE. He was a black and gold darling, so Triple H loved this guy, so definitely he's going to go to WWE. That's where the payday's at. That's where his wife is at, if he's married to Zelina Vega still. So that's where he's gonna go. If Disney buys WWE, oh hell no, no, dude. Disney could afford WWE. If Netflix is willing to put out fucking $5 billion, and Netflix could fucking put out or Disney could put way more than that. So I don't want it because it would be kitty bullshit. But yeah. Hey, you missed 28. Oh, let me check that real quick. My fault. 28, you are given a storyline where you have to make Bronson Reed believe he is the illegitimate son of Bastion Booger, and he must wear the same outfit. How do you book him? I don't know. I don't know too much about Bastion Booger. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Josh Carlos says, Learning Tree Jericho dropped his stock with his legacy. Yes. Jericho, whether you want to say it or not, in WWE always mattered. He's not much of a, he doesn't matter in WWE, in AEW anymore. So yeah, he's washed. He needs to retire, and just move the fuck on, dude. You're almost in your 60s. It's time to go. Rank divas and hotness. Lisa Green says Stacy, Trish, Lita, Tori. Okay, so hotness. I'm gonna go. I'm going to say Lita is number 1. I'm going to go Trish Stratus at number 2, Tori Wilson at 3, and Stacy Keibler at 4. They're all very attractive, but I would say Lita is the hottest for me. You're going to die of cringe answering number 30. Okay, let me check that out. I'm going to read it to myself. No, I'm good. I will get to that. Fuck that. What was the year you found each diva to be hottest? Trish, Tori, Stacy, Lita, Mickey. Trish, I would say, like 99, 2000, 2001. Trish has always looked good. I would say like in the early 2000s, I would do that. Tori is in the mid 2000s. I'd say mid 2000s, 2005, 2006. Stacy, same deal. Lita, I found Lita really attractive in 99. And she's always been attractive, but 99, she was really nice looking. And Mickie James when she debuted. Yeah, debuted when she had that storyline with Trish Stratus. She was super fucking hot back in the day. What's your thoughts on Kreese from Cobra Kai? From what I remember from Kreese, he was a great character. And he was always a thorn in what the fuck's his name? Johnny's side, I believe. So Challenger John. I always thought Stacy was great. Yeah, Stacy Keibler's great, dude. Like, she was always hot. She was an underrated seller for the women's division, for the women at the time. Her and Test were a good fucking her and Tess were a good duo for sure. And yeah, Stacy Keibler always did her job well, and I always appreciate that. She never, as far as I know, she never bitched and complained back in the day. Josh Carlos 15 asks, you see MJF being a main eventer in WWE in a couple of years? I think Breaker and Fatu are future superstars as well. For me, MJF, I think MJF could be a star. He's not awful, but from what I've seen, he's a good promo. So he potentially, Breaker, for Breaker's a star for sure. He's going to be a main eventer for a long time. And Fatu, I'm not too sure outside of the bloodline. I need him to develop more as a character, and then we'll see how it goes. But I don't disagree with you having that opinion. Lisa Green asks, thoughts on Ellie being lesbian? This never made sense to me. For me, it's not a big deal, but yeah, I get where you're coming from. I think if she wanted to be a mom, if she wanted to, repopulate, she would be with a dude. Like when I first saw Jesse in part 2, I thought that was her boyfriend, but then Jesse had said, what you doing kissing my girl, talking about Dina. I like Jesse and Dina. They're just underdeveloped characters that didn't get much time to shine. Ellie being a lesbian is kind of weird. I thought she would, like guys, but it is what it is. Stacy had those legs. Yes, the fuck she did. Stephanie McMahon or Dixie Carter, like to fuck or as a booker? I'd say Dixie Carter was a better booker. OG, dude, like early 2000s Stephanie McMahon was hot. And even in the, late 90s, she was hot too. So I'd pick her. She had fat tits. I know they were fake, but shit, I mean, you could suck on those shits all fucking day. Let's be real. Hey, what's up, JT Prime? Do you think Tony Khan will give up on AEW at some point later on? If his father, like if Shahid Khan comes down to him and be like, Tony, it's time to wrap it the fuck up, then possibly. But unless Tony Khan starts losing like absolute absurd amount of number of money, then he will give up. But it's his super indie. That's how I look at it for Tony Khan. Do you think HHH will get outed this year? See, I think what TKO is doing is they are allowing him to do what he wants. But I think here's the straw that would break the camel's back for me, and I think for TKO as well. If Triple H fumbles this Netflix deal, he's going to get fired. There's no doubt in my mind. There is no way that he fumbles the Netflix deal and does not get fired. So if he fucks up this deal and they cancel, it's over for him. So Angelique Harris, I don't know why TKO is still keeping Triple H. All he doing giving company low ratings. I think he's the fall guy. He's the guy that books the show. They can blame him about it, and Triple H will be a good little boy and take it. So that's my opinion on that. Josh Carlos 98 says, I've seen Fat 2 promos in the indies, and he has the intensity pretty decent. Okay, well, I want to see let's see that on fucking TV, man. Let's see that intensity for sure. Lisa asks, who are heels you disliked when you watch wrestling? Who are babyface you liked? Who are heels you liked and babyface you disliked? So heels I disliked. I did not like JBL. I wanted to see him fail. I didn't like early Brock Lesnar. I didn't like Corporate Rock. Those are motherfuckers I wanted to see fail. Babyfaces I liked John Cena. I liked Eddie Guerrero. I liked Rey Mysterio, Edge. Those were good cools. Babyfaces I did not like. Babyface I don't like now. Cody Rhodes. I don't like CM Punk. Yeah, those are kind of the names I'm feeling. Challenger John says, I feel like the articles are gaslighting me with the 2.6 mil average of 4.9 total. There's no way these accounts are accurate for Raw. From what I saw, it was in the US alone, 667,000 households tuned into it live. I'm assuming that number is coming from factoring replays and people watching it the next day. If it's a live number, that's false. There's no reason that's true. If it is true, then fuck it. I don't believe it because Netflix hasn't come out. Thomas and Stuntman Farrell, are you still cool with Destructor? I have not had a discussion with Destructor since my channel went down years ago. I don't have a problem with him at all. I watched his TWRP video and it just wasn't it for me. I understand people have opinions and all that, but I didn't think it was well done. I have no issues with Destructor, so I'm not trying to cause any beef. But I guess I'm still cool with the guy. I don't know. Edge Runner says, oh, there's a question I forgot to add. Thoughts on PlayStation being so draconian when it comes to backwards compatibility? I think it's a problem. It also it fucks over game preservation. There's no reason why Xbox, you can play Xbox 360 games disc with your Xbox Series X, but on my PS5, I can't play a PS3 game that I have on my disc. I can only play a PS4 game. What the fuck, man? That pisses me off because I have a bunch of PS3 games. I have WWE 2K14. I have the Dead Space trilogy I would love to play on there, but I can't because Sony wants to be fucking assholes with their game preservation. Josh Carlos, Hulk Hogan was low-key a heel even before NWO. Yeah, wasn't he getting booed when he first got, after a while, people were kind of over Hulk Hogan's shtick in WCW, so people turned on him. So you're right. Bad Sports says it's crazy how Stephanie is still around just because of who she's married to, which is ironic because Triple H wanted to marry her for the power she held, which TKO now possesses. Strange how that worked. Yeah, it's hilarious that Stephanie has no power anymore. Triple H has no power. TKO is the final boss. of WWE. They have all the decision-making power. I don't know why they're not taking over for Triple H, but fuck it. Who knows? Lisa Green says, when did you start watching UFC and who's your favorite fighters? So I'm super casual with UFC, but I did watch it for a decent amount of time. I'd say early 2012, 2013, I tuned in, like when Brock was over there and Punk was doing his thing, or well, getting his ass beat by two jobbers in the UFC. Some of my favorite fighters, I know he's a piece of shit, but John Jones. I like Daniel Cormier. I like Chael Sonnen, Conor McGregor, Nick Diaz. Even some of the older guys like Randy Couture, GSP. Who else we got? Don Fry. Yeah, a bunch of other great legends. Ken Shamrock. I'm super casual when it's come to at UFC. I should start watching again for sure. Josh Carlos says the 600K is from smart TVs no one has. Is that true? If that is true, if you can find an article, send that to me, please. I'd love to read that. Angelique Harry says, do you think WWE is going out of business sooner or later? No. I think the reason they're not going out of business is because of Nick Khan. He secured their deals and TKO bought them out outright. So as long as TKO is willing to pour money into WWE after their sponsors are done, they will stay in business. So as long as they do that, they're good. Or uses smart TVs to stream Netflix because they suck compared to other platforms. Yeah, Netflix. I didn't have any problems with Netflix on Raw. I didn't have any buffering issues. I was able to watch the show the best, so I didn't have any problems. But I'm sure some people have, like, later on. Thoughts on Stone Cold's heel turn? I feel like Stone Cold was never meant to be a heel. From what I remember, it wasn't really well done. I'm sure there were great moments. I'd have to rewatch it, but I do remember people being very confused about it and not playing it out very well. That's when he sided with Vince McMahon, right? Because if that's the case, then yeah, people were confused. Have you ever played any of the Legacy of Kain games? The games of series Bad Omen 1, 2, Soul Reaver? No, I've never played any of those. Can you let me know what console those are on? I definitely would check them out. If they can be emulated, I'd probably fucking check them out. Thoughts on Hulk Hogan's eventual fourth heel turn? It could do a number for Raw. I think if Hulk Hogan came out as a heel and trolled the audience, that could be great. So I would love to see that. We'll just have to see what TKO does going forward. I mean, as far as I know, Hulk Hogan's beer company is a sponsor for Raw. So if Netflix wants him on, then Netflix will get that. So bet your ass on that. Edge Runner says, did it make you laugh when you found out CM Punk got beat up on Michael Jackson? I remember when I heard it, and I thought Michael Jackson popped out of the grave and moonwalked on him, and he'd. When I heard the dude's name was Michael Jackson, I was like, damn, there's no way. And then I watched the fight, and it's just Michael Jackson. This dude, Michael Jackson, just absolutely dog walking CM Punk and beating the living shit out of him. At that point, that was the most one-sided UFC fight I'd ever seen. And the funny thing about Mike Jackson is he's not even that skilled. I think he was a journalist, right? Like a photographer. And the fact that a photographer beat the living shit out of CM Punk when he said he trained at Duke Rufus's gym and that he's a Muay Thai specialist, bro, you got your ass beat. So I don't want to hear it. He failed in UFC, and I feel like that's why people fucking don't want to go to UFC from WWE. Challenger John, every gaming company has been awful for game preservation. I'd never advocate for it, but I have full catalogs of games for the Wii and prior. Preserve your media, people. That includes games, movies. Yeah, dude, if you can get physical copies of anything, do it. I have physical copies of Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, the Fallout TV show, Last of Us, Power Rangers. I have most of my games are disc. Get physical media, because once these streaming platforms physically take over and you don't have physical media, they could just take away whatever the fuck they want. PlayStation Store has done that in the past. They've taken people's games and not refunding them. It's a piece of shit move, and I hope that's not the future of gaming, but we'll find out. Least favorite divas, 95 to 2016. Natalia. I never got the hype with Beth Phoenix. Oksana was eh. Who else we got? Naomi, I was never a big fan of. AJ Lee, I never understood. Tamina Snuka. Who else we got from that era? Becky Lynch was tolerable because she was a last kicker. I didn't really give a fuck. Yeah, that's my list. I know what you mean. Seeing Stone Cold cry and running away from fights was weird as a heel. Yeah, like he was known as an ass kicker. Why is he running off and being a little bitch? Doesn't make any sense. I was watching a podcast about why Hogan was booed at Raw. Apparently, from what I gathered, is that people still have not forgiven him for the tapes back in the day. People need to get over it. Yeah, I agree. I would say forgive and forget. Just move the fuck on. People are so obsessed with Hulk Hogan, and the fact that people are still talking about him in his mid-70s, that's something you need to value. And yeah, you need to value that. And people are so sensitive now. I understand what he said was fucked up. Don't get me wrong. I've heard the audio. It's rough. I get it. But that was what, like 15 years ago, 20 years ago? Just move the fuck on. And Mark Henry saying, "Oh, you owe me an apology, man." Fuck, he owes you an apology for it. He didn't call you the N-word, you know? I think people just need to move on and stop being pussified and defending other wrestlers. Just focus on your life. Dragon Ball Z is awesome and cool. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z is fucking awesome, dude. I grew up in the OG dub, and admittedly, it's not the greatest dub in the world, but it's definitely nostalgic for me. And yeah, the Dragon Ball Z Kai dub is actually very good. It's not bad. The music isn't as great, but your characters are great. Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo. These are all goated characters in anime. Vegeta's story is fantastic. So if you've never watched Dragon Ball Z, watch it. Are you blocked by any wrestler IWC Twitter accounts? At the moment, I don't know because I don't know how to search for that. I don't really go out of my way to search for that shit. I do know on my old account, I was banned by Johnny Gargano. A funny story about the Johnny Gargano block on the old account was I put a fucking thumbnail up about a video I was going to do. It was called NXT Trash, Johnny Gargano. And it was a picture of a trash can and it had his head poking out and it had the NXT logo over it. I posted that and I think I tagged him. Literally 5 minutes later, I'm blocked. So what that told me was, damn, he really went out of his way to look for that and block me. At the time, I had 2 followers. Bro's blocking an account with 2 followers. So pussified fucking asshole. I hate Johnny Gargano. Damn, CM Punk always getting beaten up from people, especially from those who don't have any fighting experience. Yeah, he got beat up by Mike Jackson, got beat up by fucking Mickey Gall. Like, those two beat him up so bad that Dana White was like, "I'm just buying your contract and I don't ever want you here to fight ever again." So, Berserk is awesome and cool. Yeah, my friend is a huge fan of Berserk, the original manga. And I've never really gotten around to watching it. I could definitely check it out. It seems legit. I know that Guts is a badass and has a very tragic backstory, so I'm interested to see how that plays out. So maybe I will check it out, JT. The Legacy of Kain games are on PlayStation 1 and 2. Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered recently been released for modern consoles. Okay, I will check out Legacy of Kain. I've definitely heard of those games. I've never played them though. I grew up on like Jack and Daxter and shit like that. So I'll check those out, Spectral. And I'll get back to you at some point. Steampunker Lynch. Yeah, Steampunk Lynch wasn't awful because she was a goofball and she's a mid-carder. Yeah, she was women's champion, but she was a mid-carder. She was never really made to, out to be a joke. She was never made to be a serious wrestler. Does John Cena follow you on Twitter? No, John Cena does not follow me on Twitter. The only wrestler, to my knowledge, that follows me on Twitter is Killer Cross. I commented on one of his segments that he did on his account, and I said, "Great acting. It's great to see you guys fully being yourselves." And he gave me a follow back. So Killer Cross is cool and awesome. Deserves a push. Get on that shit. Thoughts on the Bella Twins? average, mid. Brie Bella was never the safest wrestler. They really weren't that great at promos. They looked okay at best. They weren't fantastic to look at. For what they were all right. Medusa is severely overrated. All she was remember is for dropping the women's title in the trash. Yeah. And dude, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but a recent clip of like her and fucking Bull Nakano match on the Raw, like the first Raw or something, went viral, and people were like, why can't we have women's wrestling at this? And it was just her just fucking tossing Bull Nakano and Medusa around. Like, it was just a bunch of bullshit that nobody wanted to see. Nobody cared about women's work rate. So, what else? Oh, I was bullied by all my teachers, I guess. I was still an asshole. Wait, what do you mean you were bullied by your teachers? Like your teachers went out of their way to bully you, or were you just like an absolute fucking piece of shit in class? Because I've had that happen to me. Who's your favorite wrestler of all time? Ken Shamrock. I've said it before. I've said it multiple times. Ken Shamrock is my favorite wrestler of all time. The dude brought the intensity. He's a badass. So he definitely deserved a better push than he got, but I'm not upset what he got. He could have been a huge star in the Ruthless Aggression era. So, thoughts on Mark saying you can't be a good heel if you're hated in real life? I think it's a bunch of bullshit. I think for heels to properly be who they are, they need to be somewhat assholes in real life. That's why Logan Paul is like the perfect example of a modern heel who gets hated because he's a real life dickhead. You need to kind of, you need to be an asshole to an extent. You don't have to be like a real life asshole. If you can't be that, be a good actor. That's it. I think it's a bunch of bullshit from the Marks because they're all pussified. So fuck all of them. Dragon Ball GT was underrated. I agree. The first 15 or so episodes are boring as fuck, but once you get to the baby arc and the Shadow Dragon saga, that's some good Dragon Ball fucking content. So check it out. When I was on Twitter back in the day, I got blocked by Cassius Ono for calling him a fat fuck. I also got blocked by Gargano by saying he looks like a Kmart worker. Yeah, because these wrestlers are super overly sensitive. I understand, like, okay, you see somebody call you fat, makes you feel some sort of way. Okay, fine. But you're labeled as a professional. You have to act like a professional. And when I called Johnny Gargano a Walmart worker or whatever, he got all upset and blocked me. So the wrestlers now have thin skin. They would have never been able to survive the Attitude Era at all. I wish I grew up in the 90s watching the Attitude Era. I started watching wrestling when it was way past its peak. I used to think it was the greatest thing I'd ever watched. Yeah. You know what's funny is I wish I was in the 90s too. I wish I got the end. I even wish I was able to grow up on New Generation. I feel like New Generation is a lot better than what people give it credit for. It's not great, but it's better than what we got now. So I definitely agree on you. I would have loved to be born in the 80s or 90s so I could have experienced that type of wrestling boom, because that was a boom. What you have now is not a boom. It's a fucking boom in your pocket. What's your thoughts on Dimitri? Dimitri's all right. From what I remember, he was all right. Dimitri's Hawk, right? I can't fucking remember. If it's Hawk, then yeah, Hawk's cool. I like him. He's a cool character. Have you played Batman Arkham? No, I have not. I should. I've heard so many great things. If I can pick them up for a relatively good price, I'd definitely play them for sure. I don't have Twitter. I'm just a wrestling fan. I've been watching wrestling since I was 7. I'm old. I know wrestling sucks these days. Yeah, honestly, I don't blame you, Challenger John, for staying off of Twitter. Twitter is fucking garbage. It's not, I wouldn't say it's too toxic. It's just the marks on Twitter are insufferable. So I wouldn't want to be on there either. Karrion Kross is cool. Yeah, Killer Kross is cool. He followed me because I praised his promo with him and Scarlett. I think it was the promo where like Scarlett came up to him and said, "Hey, the Wyatt's got Miz," and Kross is like, "Oh, he's probably dead." And the guy's an underrated actor. He should get pushed, so hopefully he does. I'm blocked by AJ Francis, HBK, Mia Yim, Ryback, all the Fightful guys, including SRS, Jim Cornette, WrestleMania, Matt Morgan follows me, lol. Excuse me. Damn, Lisa, like, do you go out of your way to like kind of tag these people, or do they just find your way into your comment section? I'm curious. I hear on Technical Work Rate Productions live stream Raw on Netflix was bad. That I did watch it, and I'm not gonna watch it. Yeah, don't even waste your time. The first episode of Raw was underdeveloped. It was not perfect. It was dog shit. I think you'd have better time jerking off instead of watching that. So, have you played Red Dead Redemption 2? And if so, what are some of your favorite things about the game? So, Red Dead Redemption 2, I've played brief points of it. I love the graphics. Arthur Morgan is a good character. The gunplay is great. I need to play more of it, and I've heard that the story is fantastic. So, how would you book Nia Jax going forward after the title loss? And do you think it's time for the WWE to start bringing the female legends back? So for Nia Jax, you kind of have to look at her age, and I'm gonna look up Nia Jax's age real quick for you guys, just so like if she's over 35, we have to kind of let her go. Yeah, Nia Jax is 40 years old. I'm really not interested in pushing women that are over 40 years old. So I think Nia Jax can be a coach or retire. And do you think it's time for WWE to start bringing the legends back? What I prefer is if the WWE, built up their up and coming stars. You shouldn't have to rely on Trish and Lita all the fucking time. So that's my honest opinion on that. Thoughts on Gundam Wing? Gundam is cool. From what I've watched, Gundam is really cool, and it's interesting. The opening theme song is very good. I need to watch more Gundam. Like old school anime is perfect for like reviews and shit. So maybe I'll check that out. Also, Sami Zayn blocked me. I'm not surprised by that. Sami Zayn is a pussy. He's a fucking asshole. So fuck Sami Zayn. But excuse me. Triple H was complaining about Karrion Kross's booking under Vince, but he's currently giving him the same treatment. When did Triple H complain about that? Like, was that actually a point of interest for him? Because I don't remember him complaining, but yeah, he's not doing Kross any fucking favors at all. He's not. So I don't know what the fuck he's complaining about. He's fucking him over right now with Final Testament. I'd be labeled sexist, but women's wrestling as a featured product does not sell. I know there are attractive women wrestlers, but it's not a draw. Yeah, unfortunately, Challenger John, you're right. The only way that women's wrestling draws is, bro, I hate to say, you need women to like be half fucking naked, bro. Like, people tune into Liv Morgan because they're interested in Liv Morgan and, Rhea Ripley and all that stuff. But to draw the numbers that you would want them to draw, you would need women being half naked. I'm gonna take this screen off. Give me a minute. All right, there we go. Yeah, you would need women to be half naked doing mud pit matches. That's the only way it would really draw any significant fucking numbers. I don't know who that is. Thoughts on HHH using insider terms like heel, face, work, shoot in that Netflix intro? It was bullshit. It, like you said, Lisa, it's like the magician showing you how the trick is done. I think it was unnecessary, and he's a fucking asshole for that. I don't get it. Triple H is so weird, bro. Dragon Ball Super is goofy. Yeah, Dragon Ball Super is goofy. It's not the worst thing I've ever watched, but it's weird how like in the progression they get Super Saiyan God, and then like 5 episodes later they have Super Saiyan Blue. Just doesn't make any sense. And Blue gets washed all the fucking time. Jiren is way too strong. There's too much filler. It's overall not a bad watching experience if you get to Goku Black arc, and that's pretty good. But after that, Tournament of Power, like the rest of the arcs are pretty dog shit, to be honest. I hate Logan Paul IRL. However, I see the talent he has. He's a guy you could push to the moon back day and get nuclear heat. That's money. Yeah, I agree. That's what we've been saying is that, yeah, you might not like Logan Paul, and that's fine. I don't like him either. He's a fucking weird, he's a fucking jackass. He's a scamming asshole. But as a talent, he has merit to WWE, and I could use him. So, McLovin says Triple H said there will never be anyone who will be bigger than the company. Yet HHH puts himself on the cover of Raw. Yeah, that's the problem. Is that Triple H came out and essentially fucking put himself on the fucking Raw intro and coming out and jerking himself off. So it's okay for Triple H to be bigger than the brand, but it's not okay for any of his talents to be bigger than the brand. You never saw Vince McMahon do this shit. He had the idea, nobody's bigger than the brand. I get it. But he didn't come out and fucking jerk himself off every show. So at least you could give that to Vince. Scarlett needs to be in Chemical X. Scarlett, I would like to see what they would do with Scarlett and Cross. I think they could be a great duo. I would have them be champions on the main roster. You're not losing anything with them. They could potentially be draws. Chemical X is fine with Gigi Dolan, Tatum Paxley, and what's her name? Shotzi Blackheart. So I'm okay with those. Oh yeah, Dimitri's the annoying bitch ass. Oh yeah, fuck Dimitri then. I couldn't remember if like Hawk had like an actual name or whatever. So yeah, fuck Dimitri. He's a bitch. So Lisa says no. I never tag people. I think they all vanity search. Yeah, they do vanity search, bro. Look at how the Sasha Banks fans react to TWRP posting Sasha Banks sucks. They got that video pulled, and they do vanity search. I definitely believe that. I think Triple H, many of the talents on the roster probably go on YouTube and Twitter, and they search their name. And if you had mentioned their name outside of an @ they'll find it. So yeah, fuck the wrestler. I don't know why they go out of their way to look that shit up. Just ignore it. Who cares? I play through all of Red Dead Redemption 2 on my channel, and it quickly became my favorite game of all time. My biggest complaint, at least that I've heard from the internet, is that gameplay is boring, but I have to play it myself. But yeah, I'll take your word, Ed Runner. I don't think you would lie to me. So if it's great, it's great. I find it hilarious Marks for saying in a boom period, yet they had to bring back a golden era talent. Hogan, New Gen, Taker, Attitude Rock, Ruthless Cena, wrestlers to pop the rating. Yeah, if we're in a boom period, you shouldn't have to rely on the old generation. You shouldn't have to bring in Hogan or Taker or Rock or Cena or Stone Cold or any of these older guys. You shouldn't have to bring them back. Your homegrown talent should just be able to carry the show to what it is. But you're not able to do that because Triple H is a fucking awful booker. He's unable to do it. Guys, don't forget he still has a bunch of questions to answer from me. Yeah, fuck. I keep forgetting about you, dude. Shit. All right. Triple H has always wanted to be the top guy. That's why he hated guys like Cena and Hogan. Yeah, he hated Cena, Rock, and Hogan because they were always the main event. Triple H wanted to be the guy. He wanted to be the only guy. So it hurt his ego. And I think when he started booking, he booked for people who fucking suck and were not ever going to come up to his legacy, like Seth Rollins, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Adam Cole, most of the NXT Black and Gold darlings, even Rhea Ripley. So that's what he does. Am I into Transformers? Yeah. I like the movies from 2007. They're cool. I've watched a little bit of the animated series from the 80s. I have to get more into Transformers, but it's definitely in my lineup for sure. I ain't surprised most of these wrestlers are soy boys and Gen Z. Yeah, for sure. Thoughts on Cartoon Network? When I was a kid, it was great. Now I don't really know too much about it. All I know is that Teen Titans Go is super heavily pushed on that fucking program. So fuck Teen Titans Go. It's not as good as the OG. Move it the fuck on. Who do you think is the biggest thought in wrestling? Like in wrestling? Fuck. Biggest thought ever? Probably between Sunny and Lita, I'd say. Lita has a fucking bigger body count than The Undertaker, and Sunny fucked anybody with a pulse, so I'd say those. I don't see it. He's so sloppy and uncoordinated. I don't fucking get it. Yeah, he said that bullshit about John Cena. I don't see the idea in work rate. Like, as long as you're safe in the ring, I don't care what the fuck you do. I'm gonna be real. Dirt sheet obsessed marks like Meltzer ruined wrestling. It created a whole generation of marks obsessed with backstage nonsense and work rate. I'd also mention Botchamania, bro. Like Botchamania, I understand they're doing their thing, they're grinding it out. I get it. But the over obsession with moves and getting it down right it definitely led to the degradation of wrestling because nobody gave a fuck about that beforehand. They're gaslighting marks by saying WWE is getting 4.9 million. It's insane how much these marks buy into bullshit numbers. Until I see official announcements from TKO or Netflix, don't believe any of those fucking numbers. I believe the number of 664K, I believe that number, but like 4.9, if that's worldwide, that's pathetic. You would think if WWE is in the top 10, they'd be getting at least 15, 20 million viewers. I know Squid Game was getting 50 million, but 4.9 is pathetic. I don't care if it's higher than on USA. It's still awful for going forward. Remember when Vince would be an on-screen heel character and whoever was an angle with him became a top star? Yeah, because Vince McMahon put over his talent. He'd do anything to put over his fucking talent. He took bumps, get assaulted on the mic, anything. Vince was willing to allow himself to look like shit to make his talents look good. Triple H will never do that. I really don't know why, but HHH and Stephanie relationship is basically compared with Jay-Z and Beyonce, just together for money and power and their children. Yeah, Triple H, I believe Triple H, the reason he married Stephanie was to get into power, to get in a higher position of power in WWE. So I agree with that one for sure. We're going to go back to Edge Runners questions here. Where was I at? Okay, 30. Listen to them talk for 3 hours nonstop, and you can't stop them. Give them a title and have them hold all year, or can't say anything negative about them for a year. CM Punk, Mercedes, or Triple H. Oh, God. So they'll be talking to me all year. God, all of them are fucking complainers. I guess Mercedes, because at least like I could tune her out. I can't tune out fucking Triple H's voice. I can't tune out. I can't tune that shit out. CM Punk, I can't turn. Fuck you, ass. So I wouldn't be able to deal with his bitching and complaining. So fuck him. 31. Do you see Netflix opting out of their deal? Yeah, I do. If the deal with Raw fucking dies out, like if Raw isn't getting the numbers that Netflix wants, yeah, they will abandon ship for sure. Favorite sports and least favorite. I'm a fan of American football, baseball, tennis, golf. Least favorite sport, the NBA. I'm just not a fan of the flopping bullshit. I don't like it. It was a lot better in the 90s. Fuck that shit. Thoughts on speaking of the NBA, thoughts on the NBA ratings being down over 50% recently, and what would you do to help them bring ratings back to the NBA? To bring back ratings, you have to take what works. You need more you need aggression in the NBA. You need to kind of allow these fouls to be not called. We need more dunking. We need more incentives to actually try at the All-Star game. The All-Star game is fucking dog shit. So you need to do things to make people actually give a fuck. So 34, Xbox, Nintendo, PC, or PlayStation? I'm a PC guy and a PlayStation guy. I grew up on PlayStation. I had a GameCube when I was younger, and that was great. But I grew up on PS2, PS3 era. I've had every PlayStation except the first one, which I'm planning on getting one sometime in the future. The only Nintendo console that I really played a lot of was the Wii, and Xbox. I never owned an Xbox. I just played other people's Xboxes when I would go over their house. And yeah, I had a decent time with Xbox, but yeah, PlayStation, PC for sure. Favorite wrestling game of all time and least favorite. Favorite SVR 07. Least favorite. Either 2K15 or 2K20. Those were some absolutely awful games. 2K20 was a buggy piece of shit. The only thing good about 2K15 was the showcase mode, and other than that, it was not a great game. It was very limited. The roster was not big at all. So, yeah, those two. 36, Pushberry Fire, hard mode, Braun Breaker, LA Knight, Brock Lesnar. Fuck. Oh my God, that's tough. So I'm going to push Braun Breaker because you need to put over the future of the company. He's got all the tools to be a main eventer. I would bury Brock, but burying him is more or less just putting over Braun. That's how I do. And for LA Knight, I'm firing him. I don't want to fire LA Knight because he's a good mid-carder, but yeah, you got to kind of let him go. He's in his mid-40s, so do what you need to do. 37. If you could travel back in time to watch any era of wrestling live, which would you choose? Honestly, Golden Era. I'm thinking because Golden Era's crowds and just a bunch of people would be fantastic. I wouldn't be against Attitude Era as well. I'd say Golden and Attitude. 38. Why is society so watered down in SJWs nowadays? It's my personal opinion, just people are pussified. And that's the way that society is going. That's why you see a lot of these SJW conclusive characters, LGBTQ, transgender, fat phobia, misogyny. All these agendas are being pushed down your throat. So inherently, it allows these children and or parents to become SJWs and fuck everything up. So 39, thoughts on Dan Schneider Nickelodeon documentary exposing behind the scene behavior towards children actors. It's fucked up. That's bullshit. That's fucking gross. I hope that he just stays away from Nickelodeon and just fucking goes away at some point. And final question, 40. Have you ever been to any wrestling events in the past? And what would you do if you consider going to modern day? Maybe if somebody offered you a lot of money. I've never been to a wrestling event. I wouldn't be against going to like a meet and greet. I don't know if I'd go to a show, but a meet and greet, like, you know, see Liv Morgan and Braun Breaker, I'd go. So, and that's all the questions on YouTube. So I'm going to keep answering a little bit more on the chat here. I miss when Raw would open up and there'd be a bunch of backstage stuff going on throughout the show. You'd have an entire segment of Stone Cold looking around the building. What happened? Well, it's because Triple H is lazy fuck. Instead of having segments to get people over, he'd rather fill it up with time. He'd rather fill it up with matches, long matches. And he gave that kind of style to Vince. And Vince never fucking does that bullshit. He was always so heavy on segments to get wrestlers over. You get people over more in segments than you can with a wrestling match. So it's just Triple H being a lazy asshole. Thoughts on wrestling e-feds, aka people who make creative wrestlers for 2K games and act like they're an actual wrestler and someone owner controls the matches and storylines. It's kind of cringy as fuck. I've seen the same thing for the NBA community. Madden, it's fucking weird. It's cringy as fuck. But I mean, if people enjoy it, why not? I'm not going to hate on people's enjoyment for shit. So if you like it, more power to you. For me, it's personally not my thing, but if they have fun and people actually like it, who gives a fuck, right? Who cool with on YouTube? Who am I cool with? I'm cool with TWRP, Casual Q, Destructor. I was cool with J Rance and Lisa Green, Top Dog. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hate my teachers when I get caught when I didn't see my teachers getting out of class while I'm still reading. Bro, you gotta focus in class, bro. Focus up. You're in school for a reason, right? I also feel why HHH hates Cena because his own wife and father-in-law favored Cena over HHH when Triple H tried to bury him. Yeah, I think they're definitely resentment there. I'm sure Triple H thought to himself, why is my father-in-law, why is my wife so high on John Cena? And it's funny now because Cena, like Triple H is dick riding Cena now, but you know, in deep down, he doesn't feel that way. I don't know why Triple H doesn't want new up and coming stars, pushes the same people over and over again. Like, if did not come the indie and pay your dues, if you're not black and gold, get a push. That's how it is. Well, it's because of, again, he's a lazy booker. That's one. Instead of featuring newer talents that could potentially get over and draw a number, he'd rather go back to the well with NXT Black and Gold. That's why people like Rhea Ripley are getting a push. That's why people like Shayna Baszler were getting a push at one point. That's why people like Pure Fusion Collective are getting a push. Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Johnny Gargano, DIY, Motor City Machine Guns. He'd rather go to the well of obscurity instead of pushing new stars. I'll also see Triple H is threatened by anybody who has potential, so he's not going to push those people. So maybe it was good that Stone Cold didn't show up at Netflix and glaze Cody Rhodes. If he stunned him, then that would have been okay. That was one of my biggest issues with Rock. I don't understand why Rock couldn't have came out and just roasted Cody Rhodes. He should have roasted him, slapped him in the face, hit a rock bottom, whatever. You start a new feud for WrestleMania and have Rock go over him instead. Rock had to glaze him for some fucking reason. I don't understand. A Transformers movie in the late 2000s had Megan Fox. Yeah, Megan Fox is hot as shit, man. Everybody in my school had a fucking crush on that bitch. She was so hot. And she's not even that bad right now. So CM Punk needs therapy. He needs both. He's a deeply flawed human being who needs help, and I hope he gets the help he needs. I pray for him. Lisa Green says, thoughts on HHH Reign Terror 2002-2005. Triple H is like, his Reign of Terror was pretty shit. I don't really remember too much from that era being great, but I guess out of all the guys on the roster, Triple H is not the worst guy to be a champion, but to have a 3-year-long Reign of Terror like that, like, that's kind of sus. Trying to move on. I used to be in a wrestling e-fed back when 2K18 came out. Those people were absolutely insane. My original YouTube channel actually got hacked by one of them back in the beginning of 2018 over hatred. Yeah, people get really obsessed with their role play. People are super like into role play. And I mean, I get it to an extent. I really do. But you have to understand it's fake bullshit. You're creating a character and you're fucking doing your own shit. Why do you care too much, It's very psycho kind of bullshit behavior. We can't see the questions. Well, I finished the questions. They're right here. Like, you can see them now, but yeah, I already finished the questions, so my fault. I'm glad that these female rappers' careers are flopping. They all are garbage. They're just here to look pretty, be strippers and prostitutes. Well, here's my problem is like Megan Thee Stallion, I don't find attractive at all. I don't think she's a good-looking woman. Cardi B looks okay. Glorilla is ugly. Megan Thee Stallion's not awful looking, but a lot of these female rappers are not, attractive at all. I'm trying to find the best screen. Sorry. I think that one would work. I give WWE a year or less under Netflix before we get even more Netflix sponsored segments on Raw, like Mountain Dew Pitch Black match or Army and the Dead Lumberjack match or a Stranger Things match. Well, I think if Netflix isn't getting what they want, they will most certainly get what they want. So Triple H never wanted to do segments with Rene Dupree, Chris Masters, and Mark Jindrak because they had good physiques and athleticism. Yeah, Triple H he's a very insecure man. And I know, like, we make fun of, like, insecurity. Oh, who cares like that, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, Triple H is super insecure. Sorry, I'm just fucking around with the stream, guys. I'm trying to get the best looking thing here. Are you cool with OTRS Central? I've never talked to the guy. I've watched some of his videos. There are some takes I agree with him, but some are like, eh. It's been a long time since I've watched him. Same thing with Smart Busters. So, yeah, I like them, but I've never really like done anything crazy. This is a very interesting question I just thought of. If Triple H never had to retire from in-ring competition, do you think him being petty and booking himself over your favorites, aka Braun, Knight, etc.? It's possible. Triple H, I don't think he would have put over Braun. I don't think he would have put over LA Knight because he has people in his ear telling him that they're bullshit talents, that they're not good enough, which is absolutely insane to me. I have no idea. It's definitely a possibility for sure. He definitely would have done something to fuck them over. Wrestlers you've never liked from day one: Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, um, who else? CM Punk, Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan. Yeah, like a lot of the old dudes fucking suck. Dwayne Johnson is trying to be professional for TKO. Yeah, I think that's why he's doing that. I still don't think it was the right move. He should have turned heel again. He should have been heel Rock. Why is he TKO Rock? Well, he came out looking like Final Boss. So sorry, man, for being so whiny. Who cares, dude? Open platform. Just don't be spamming shit. That's all I care about. So no problem. Triple H believes personality and the it factor are important, but he's pushing and signing wrestlers who lack them. I don't think he does, dude. Like, there's no way you can convince me because he's signed all of his indie darlings back, you know? He signed back Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. He's signed back all of his indie guys that got released, and if he really cares about the future of his company, he would have never signed them. The Rock snubbing HHH handshake was great. Yeah, I saw that, dude. I saw that fucking thing on Twitter. It was hilarious. Like, Triple H leans in, hey, Rock, give me a handshake, and then Rock just fucking completely ignores him. It was fucking hilarious. I asked this question on TWRP's channel. Do you consider anime more popular nowadays than wrestling? Back in the day, if you were an anime fan, you got bullied, but now things are different. Yeah, anime is more popular than wrestling, especially in Japan. Even worldwide, it's more popular. I mean, Dragon Ball Z is more popular than WWE. Wrestling in general is just not what it used to be. So I do agree on that. I think anime has a lot of potential where wrestling just doesn't have potential anymore. HHH always on Twitter on a burner while running the show. Yeah. I think a lot of these wrestlers have burner accounts. Like Triple H definitely has one. Tony Khan has one. A lot of these wrestlers have burners. So I wouldn't be surprised. I wish I can catch one of those fucking things. The Reign of Terror buried the guys likes of RVD and Booker T. That's not gonna work for me and my golden shovel. Yeah, he RVD and Booker T were more popular than him during that era and should have went over him, but he fucking politicked his way through like he usually does. Is the best thing he can fucking do. It's insane that after everything that's happened, somehow Nose ended up with the power. You'd think TKO and Ari Emanuel would have given him the boot the moment Vince sold the company to him. I'm convinced that they're using him as a fall guy. Like, if they have to blame anybody, they're gonna blame Triple H. And I think he convinced them that, like, oh, you know, like, I know how to run a show, look at NXT and this and that. He convinced them. I don't understand why he's still here. What's your thoughts on these mainstream artists like Sabrina Carpenter and Chappelle Roan? I don't know what Chappelle Roan is, but Sabrina Carpenter, mid, bro. Like, really mid as fuck. She's a decent looking woman. She's got some curves on her, but like musically, I'm just not inclined for her. Growing up in an African household, I learned humility as well as being assholes to everybody. Yeah. Learning to be humble is super important. And I would recommend anybody to learn that. So, Triple H, oh, you better be glad I had a stroke or I would bury me abroad with my golden sledgehammer. Yeah, fuck. I'm glad he retired. He's just, yeah, fuck it. Top 10 most annoying IWC accounts. Junkie, Gareth, Ibu, Sean Ross Sapp. A bunch of Rhea Ripley stands and Liv Morgan stands are annoying. Who else? I can look on Twitter real quick. Let's see if I scroll down. Heel Coda era is fucking annoying. Yeah, those are some of them. I can't really. I don't have too many of them on my deck right now. TWRP had me thinking maybe Cena and Orton, Cena, RKO, and certain guys probably banged Stephanie. At least was friendly with. Yeah, well, Stephanie was super friendly with Cena. That's the reason Stephanie saved Cena from being fired. I think she probably let him hit. I don't think she was like super loyal to God. I don't think he was super loyal to him. Do you believe Macho Man banged Stephanie McMahon back in the day? It's definitely possible. I would hope not. I like Macho Man Randy Savage. I hope he didn't, but that's definitely an urban legend that could be true. So I hope it's not. You like TWR Booty Hunter? Are you cool with him? I talk on Discord. Yeah, TW Booty Hunter is cool. I like his videos. He's a good content creator. He does his thing, and I appreciate him. Which wrestler on Twitter would you love to have block you on that platform? Just for the satisfaction, CM Punk, because CM Punk is a whiny bitch. I would love to see him block me out of the blue. That'd be great. Wrestlers you used to hate but grew on you. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt, RKO. I didn't like Solo Sikoa. The Usos, Drew McIntyre. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Triple H doesn't like to look weak or be seen in a vulnerable position, especially in the WWE SmackDown. Oh yeah, I know that was I heard about that for like years ago, where it was something where he couldn't look vulnerable at all, like getting hits or having a finisher taken on him in the trailer, and he got all fucked up. It's fucking ridiculous. Nice NCJC impression. Did I do a JC impression? I didn't think I did one. Worst wrestler fan base. Rhea Ripley. At this very moment, Rhea Ripley's fans, because I've had some of the weirdest conversations and or interactions with them, and most of them are not friendly. Most of them are fucking weird, obsessed dorks who obsess over Rhea Ripley to the point where I'm thinking that they're in her closet waiting for her to come out and all that shit. Sasha Banks stands were bad back in the day. Naomi's fan base is bad. I've had some interactions with Liv Morgan fans that didn't go to plan, but overall, I would say Rhea Ripley's fans. What's your thoughts on Michael Clark Duncan? I don't know who that is. If you could elaborate, maybe. What was your reaction when you found out Ricochet supposedly fingered himself after he won the U.S. title? If I was a wrestler and I won that belt, I would bleach that belt until the colors come off. I found out about it late, but when I found out about it, I thought he was a weirdo. Because didn't he film it? I didn't see the video, thank God, but he's a fucking weirdo for doing that. It's just disgusting behavior, deplorable. Triple A. Dana White, I want to be like you so bad. Teach me your ways. Yeah, Triple H wants to be like Dana with these press conferences after fake wrestling matches. Nobody gives a fuck about that shit. I wonder who came up with the idea of having Megan Thee Stallion as current SmackDown theme song. What happened with rock and hip hop that always went well with wrestling? I think it was a push for the kids would love it type bullshit. I think you could have had like Bullet for My Valentine, Avenged Sevenfold, Seether, Megadeth, Metallica, Slayer, all these great bands from the past. You could have had do something. Fuck, even Sepultura. Imagine Sepultura with Arise would have been fantastic for a theme. It is odd that we rarely see interactions between male and female wrestlers today. We used to get to see men and women interact with each other so often in the 90s and 2000s. Now it's like the men are virgins. Yeah, that's very odd to me. Why Roman Reigns wasn't fucking a new girl every week as tribal chief is beyond me. Why Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio aren't open mouth kissing and doing stuff like that, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I understand that Edge and Lita were together at the time. I get it. But if you want to get over as a couple, you need to do deplorable shit, especially if you're a heel. So, do you believe that these wrestlers have extremely weird fetishes behind the scenes? Yes, I do. I think a lot of them have closeted bullshit that they don't want people to hear about. I don't know exactly what, but it's definitely deplorable, weird bullshit. So if we found out about it, I would not be surprised. It's definitely between the Rhea and Cody fans. Once upon a time, the Sasha stans were terrible as well. Yeah, Cody's fans sending death threats to The Rock's daughter is deplorable. You need to get a fucking job behavior. Rhea's fans are just upset that anybody not named Rhea Ripley is holding a title, so that's why they hated Liv Morgan. Yeah, definitely Cody's fans are some of the worst. Which male wrestlers do you think like muscle mommies? Buddy Matthews, obviously because he's married to Rhea Ripley. Triple H, Trick Williams, HBK, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar. Yeah, a bunch of them probably like muscle mommies, I'm sure. Whoever's married to Jordan Grace I feel bad for you, bro. Tiffany Stratton or Maxine Dupree? I'm going to go with Tiffany Stratton. Maxine Dupree is very pretty, very attractive. They're both beautiful women, right? But I will take Tiffany Stratton because she's actually very good in the ring. And she's a better promo. Looks a little bit better to me. Maxine Dupree is the perfect valet, for sure. What did he play in? Please let me know. I don't know. The name sounds familiar. What did he play in? Let me know. Why are Rhea Ripley fans the way they are? Don't they know that she's never gonna be bang them? It's just like emo phase. Is it because of Feud with Liv? I don't understand why they're so obsessed. I think it's because they put themselves in the shoes of the wrestler, because people look at Rhea as a badass and as an empowering woman. I understand how a girl who isn't confident with herself could see Rhea Ripley and be like, wow, she's so fucking confident. She's such a badass in the ring. I could understand that. But I think it's deplorable behavior when you start to imagine yourself as a wrestler and you stand that account and you attack people over opinions. I think that's a problem. Sending death threats to Liv Morgan, sending injury requests to Liv Morgan just because her name is not Rhea Ripley is a problem to me. That's deplorable bullshit. And you need to get a fucking job. I think Dana is going to be gone from TKO soon. It's possible. Oh, Dana White? Who knows? I mean, maybe he could, like, is he an executive in TKO right now? Like, or is he still the head of the UFC? I'm not too sure. Thoughts on Sean Strickland? Not bad. He's not a bad fighter. He's a good talker. He pisses people off a lot. He beat up Sneeko, which was pretty funny. He beat up Israel Adesanya. Yeah, he's pretty decent. I like Sean Strickland. He's a fucking asshole. He'd be perfect for pro wrestling, to be honest with you. Bring him in. The guy that is in that movie with Tom Hanks. What movie? You got to help me out here. Lisa is a legend. Yes, she is a legend. Lisa is a great mind for the industry, and I love having her on. Great insight. Michael Clark Duncan was an actor who passed away in 2012. He played John Coffey in The Green Mile. Oh, Green Mile's a great movie. Yeah, so he's cool. I didn't know he passed away, so rest in peace, Michael Clark Duncan. Okay, see, yep. I hate the press conferences for WWE/AEW. This is wrestling. It's a work program with predetermined results. Like, it's odd, the so-called reports. Well, they're trying to present wrestling as a legitimate feeling sport. So that's what they're kind of going for. I think it's ridiculous, but that is kind of how they're going. Thoughts on Fedor? Let me look this guy up real quick. I've heard the name. I'm sure I've watched his fights. Let me real quick. $12. Oh yeah, I remember Fedor. Yeah, this guy's fucking cool. I liked Fedor. From what I saw, he was cool as fuck. Dom and Liv are a cute couple. They don't act like a couple though, bro. Like they act like teenage bullshit. I thought they were both grown ass adults. Try something new. I want to know if Cena has skeletons in his closet and to see if the IWC would treat him like Hogan. You know what's funny is that Hulk Hogan said the N-word. And yeah, deplorable bullshit. Nobody, you shouldn't say it. I get it. But Cena could be the next P. Diddy. I'm sure people would be like, oh, we love Cena. Fuck Hulk Hogan. That's the thing. It's a double standard. Cena is so beloved by everybody that it's weird that Vince McMahon, Hulk Hogan could be ousted, stuff like that, Ultimate Warrior. But like with Cena, because he has the love from the IWC and normal people, they'll just brush it on the rug for him. He's safe because of Hollywood. The weirdest fan base I've ever seen in wrestling has got to be the AEW fans, the people who would literally suck Tony off. Yeah. Tony Khan stands, Triple H, Dick Riders are awful. They're so ass, and they're just not needed. They dick suck a company that is failing consistently. So you think Chris Rock is an asshole? I don't know too much about Chris Rock. He's funny. He's had some funny segments here and there, but he's okay, I guess. So-called reporters at these press conferences asking about, well, how do you feel about winning the title and overcoming the odds? Like, it's a work. Yeah, exactly. They're playing it off as like it's a real life fight. Like if I'm a wrestler and somebody asks me, oh, how do you feel about winning? I'd be like, I don't know. Triple H wanted me to win. I don't fucking know. I mean, come on now. Harley Cameron and Zion Quinn split. Weirdos online, they think I have a chance. Oh, is that they're wrestlers, right? I've heard of Zion Quinn back in the day, like a couple years ago. Yeah, weirdos, dude. Weirdos did that shit with Bailey when she broke up with her boyfriend. People are like, I think I can go with Bailey this time, guys. I'm like, no, they're not gonna fuck you, bro. They don't know who you are. Who is the billionaire that if he started up a wrestling company, you think actually could be decent? Billionaire. I think Trump is the best offer for real. Like if Trump started up his own wrestling fed and brought in people that knew what they were doing, I think Trump could do a good job. Do you respect China? Yes, I do respect China. I feel bad for her. She was broken down by Triple H and Sean Waltman in the clique. I think she deserved way better. It's a shame what happened to her. I really feel bad for her. 99% of wrestlers love muscular women. Yes, they do. I should have said that instead of pointing out specific examples. Yeah, like most of the roster would pick a hard woman because it's a great find. I don't get it. If I was Cody Rhodes, I would have told my fans to chill. I feel like Cody knew about the death threats, but didn't have the common sense to tell them to back off. Yes, that's exactly what I would have done too. If my fan base was like really coming at somebody's family, I'd be like, look, guys, I understand loving what I do and wanting to defend me, but this isn't fucking cool. Like, just stop. And Cody was a baby face, so it wouldn't have been a big deal if he had went out of his way and said, hey guys, let's try not to attack The Rock's daughter. Don't send her death threats. Don't be weird. Yeah. Don't forget JBL getting busted for looking up trans. When did that happen? He actually, ugh. Fuck that. CM Punk. I kick Jack Perry's ass. Don't fuck with me. I'll break your face. Dude, CM Punk, I will beat the living fuck out of you. If you ever approached me and you thought you could beat me up, I'll knock your goofy ass the fuck on the ground. You think you're trained? Yeah, all right. We'll see how a punch from me goes for you. Thoughts on Obafemi? Oh, I answered this before, like earlier on. Obafemi's talented. I definitely use him on the main roster. I would have him come up, beat Shinsuke in about 15 seconds, hold that U.S. title for like a year, and then go on to the main event. He could be doing something in the main event. What are the weirdest things you've ever seen as a wrestling fan or heard about? The rumors with Sonny, Lita basically fucking a bunch of people to get training. The Vince McMahon shit. The Pat Patterson Ring Boy scandal, all that crap. Yeah, weird shit. New Jack murdering people, all that crap. It's because they enjoy having gym buddies and they train with the women wrestlers and bang them on the side. Yeah, dude, did you see that picture of CM Punk and Rhea Ripley standing next to each other? I don't want to assume shit, but bro, there's no way that Rhea is training with another dude and Buddy Matthews is okay with that. I would not be okay with that if my girlfriend was training with some other guy instead of me. I don't care if we're in different companies or not. Juan Soto. Juan Soto is talented. He's a young guy. He just signed like the biggest contract ever, right, with the Mets. On the Yankees, he was good. He was decent. Washington, he was good too. So, yeah, Juan Soto is a talent you'll see for the next 10 years. So hopefully he doesn't get hurt. Thoughts on Isla Taporia? Taporia is good, really good. From what I've seen, he's a very good striker. He was UFC champion, right? Featherweight champion. So to be a champion in the UFC, you have to be good. So Taporia, from what I've seen, is very talented. So thoughts on Kamaru Usman? Usman was good, but his knees are all fucked up. I think he should just retire. Do you like short girls or tall girls? For me, I like tall girls. It doesn't matter for me per se, but I don't want a woman who's like 5 to 6, 7 inches taller than me, because that's, for me, that's a little weird. But yeah, my dream fight would have been Prime Brock, Prime Fedor. That would be a great fight. I think Fedor probably would beat him, but I'd love to see that fight for sure. Question: you wake up one morning and see that TWRP has scheduled a stream for later that day. You tune in and they're defending Triple H in a weird Twilight Zone type of thing. What would you do? Well, first of all, I would make sure that I'm not high, because I am known to hit the disposable a couple times before I head to bed. And I've been known to wake up high and hallucinate bullshit. So if I found out I wasn't high, I would listen in and see what they're talking about. If it sounded like satire, I would fucking laugh. But if it was legit, I would probably DM NC and be like, yo, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what happened, man? I don't get it. So yeah, that's probably what I would do. Women wrestlers got OnlyFans with WWE, not sexual stuff. Yeah, dude. Like Mandy Rose had an OnlyFans. WWE wanted like a cut of her profits or some shit, so that's why she left. So, the Alex Riley story could have been John Cena being a PD of WWE. Ugh. Yeah. Dude, it really, like, I hate to say it, it really wouldn't surprise me if since Cena is in Hollywood now, it really wouldn't surprise me if Cena is like P. Diddy. I hope not. I really hope not, but it wouldn't be surprised. PRW, his Doctor of Thugonomics and Chain Gang Soldier. Yeah, Cena's OG gimmicks were great. I had no problems with those. I really enjoyed those. Stone Cold Steve Austin is another another person who gets glazed heavily despite being an actual horrible person. Yeah, dude, why does nobody talk about that he beat the shit out of Deborah and then was on the run? I found that out from Top Dog about him being on the run. How come nobody calls him out for being a fucking abuser, but everybody calls Hulk Hogan out for being a racist? Like, which one's worse, being a racist or fucking physically abusing? Come on. Who started this idiotic press conference? I would say it was definitely Triple H. I think TKO likes the idea of it being presented as a sport, so they're okay with it. I think it's the goofiest shit ever for sure. Question: in a bizarre world, next week's Raw gets over 50 million viewers in the US. Would you think it's a glitch? And if not, would you not want to be on the planet anymore? Well, I look at it like this. I want wrestling to succeed. If Raw got 50 million viewers and it was a good show, I would praise it. If it got 50 million viewers and it was a dog shit show, then I would be kind of questioning my reality and sanity, because usually people don't tune into banger wrestling matches. So 50 million is crazy. That would have put them over Squid Game, and that's ridiculous because I don't think they ever will make that, but it would definitely make me curious enough to check it out for sure. The Miz or Logan Paul, in my opinion, The Miz all day. I would say The Miz is a better mic worker. Logan Paul is better in the ring. I don't think people actually hate Miz like that anymore. I think people actually hate Logan Paul. So I for all time, I take Miz, but currently probably Paul. I think I could beat CM Punk if I'm being honest. Yeah, if you could fight, if you know how to fight, you beat the shit out of him. Like, CM Punk is not a legit trained black belt in Muay Thai. And even so, if you're bigger than CM Punk or stronger than him, you could take him down and he's not going to do anything on the ground. So, question: if you were a wrestler back in the day, who would you have banged? Would you have banged Sonny? Keep in mind, this girl would ride trains all day, if you know what I mean. No, I would have not. I would not fucking fuck Sonny, knowing all the bullshit. I don't think I would have fucked any of those girls back in the day because all of them slept around. Sonny in particular was like the biggest known slut in that fucking locker room. So no, I would not fucking run trains on Sonny. If I felt like fucking her, I would have her take like 2-hour long showers before and after I insert, because I'm not dealing with no STD bullshit. Wrestlers cheat on each other all the time. Yeah, they do. Look Vince did with Janelle Grant. Like, he needed a girl on the side because he wasn't home with his wife. I mean, wrestlers cheat all the time. That's why they have road girlfriends or road wives. It's a term we've heard before. Basketball or volleyball? I like volleyball, mainly women's volleyball. If you know, you know. There's a lot of games I missed out in my lifetime that I would love to play. What games do you highly recommend? I love doing Let's Plays on YouTube. The Dead Space trilogy is a must play for anybody who's a fan of survival horror or just horror games in general. Check that out. I would specifically say 1 and 2. You can play 3, but you're probably not going to have enough. You're not going to have as much fun as you would with 1 and 2. The Jack and Daxter trilogy is great. I would always recommend that. The Last of Us Part 1 and 2. What other games? Watch Dogs 1 is great. Skyrim. What other games I'm thinking of here? Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor. Those are some of the great games I know of. The only male wrestler on the roster that interests women today is Roman Reigns back in 2000s. You had more attractive male wrestlers except for Roman Drew. Everyone likes an audience member. Yeah, everyone looks like an audience member. Like Roman and Drew are like the most, for women at least, are like the most bangable fucking guys because they look like true stars. Yeah, for sure. For all we know, Cena could host secret swinger clubs, Nia, Vince, HHH, everyone in there. I think for him to get close enough to Vince and Stephanie specifically, that's definitely, he had to do some shit. He had to do either some cuck shit or humiliation ritual shit. Look what happened when he was at the Oscar. He came out naked. Like that was his initiation into Hollywood type of ritual. So I wouldn't be surprised. Favorite cartoons of all time. Avatar: The Last Airbender, SpongeBob SquarePants season 1 through 4, Teen Titans original, Ben 10, Power Rangers, Thundercats, Voltron, X-Men 97 is really good. Worst and least favorite. Teen Titans Go. I would say just Teen Titans Go. That's the only one I can think of. I have no doubt Stephanie was secretly in love with Mandy, hence the jealousy, hatred. She showed at 2018 Rumble when Rose got eliminated. Would also explain the fallout with her OnlyFans. I mean, so you think Stephanie had a crush on Mandy Rose? It's possible. Stephanie doesn't strike me as someone who's straight. I think she's definitely a swinger, whether it's male or female. So that's definitely possible in any fucking virtual reality you can think of. True. The only good-looking male wrestlers today are really only Braun, Orton, Roman, Drew, and Theory. That's kind of it. Well, most straight women would only find Roman and Drew attractive. Orton, nah, not right now. His younger self for sure. Braun, I don't know how a woman would react to Braun. In theory, I guess, if he was presented better. Question: in a bizarre world, CM Punk actually wins his UFC fights. Would you still crap on him as hard as you do? Would you go a little easy? Like if he could back up his talk in the ring and actually beat Mickey Gall and Michael Jackson, I mean, maybe, but then again, I'd be like, well, you still beat guys who were like, Mickey Gall was a rookie, right? And Michael Jackson was a photographer. It's like, okay, so you beat two guys who were like your average Joe who has no experience. Good for you. There would definitely be criticism. I don't know if I would be so hated, but mainly my hatred for him is like the bullshit he's done outside of UFC, like in WWE and AEW, just being a bitch and complaining about everything. That's where my hatred towards CM Punk stems from. That's true. Regular show was great. I liked regular show. What's up, Jacob? Depending on who wins the IC title Monday, nobody will care about Dakota or Lyra because Charlotte and Becky will get back. Yeah, see, here's the problem, right? Dakota Kai is your standard run-of-the-mill NXT Black and Gold darling who sucks, has been injury-prone her entire career, still getting chances after bitching and complaining on Twitch. Lyra has some upside. She could matter, but yeah, nobody's going to really give a fuck because Becky Lynch is coming back. Charlotte's coming back. Jordan Grace is going to debut at the Rumble. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of other women debuting. So, Dakota Kai and Lyra are being pushed aside because nobody really gives a fuck. Do you see wrestling getting to the point in about 10 years where they're going to be averaging about 90,000 viewers for a Raw? Where is it going to be so bad? You have to book small circuit venues. I think if Raw gets below 500K, I don't think anybody will renew them at all. I think they would strictly be on their own sort of network bullshit where they have like the WWE network. You would have Raw on there. You pay like $10 a month and you could watch any of the program, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. If it drops below 500K, there's no way that any of these, I would hope that none of these cable providers would actually pour money into WWE if they're a de-appreciated product. I don't know why Netflix really wanted to acquire them. There's a lot more live content they could have gotten for cheaper and potentially could have done better for them. Why do marks hate any kind of sexual content in wrestling? They always cry about it. Because for me, I always looked at it like the marks don't really care about sex like that. They care about work rate. And if the sex gets in front of the work rate, they are fucking super sensitive. I think sex sells, whether you like it or not. Look at Edge and Lita's segment in the ring when they were fucking eating each other out. That got 9 million plus viewers on Raw, super high. And if Liv and Dom did that, that would draw super high numbers for Raw. So sex sells, whether you like it or not, people. It's true. Thoughts on Brian Pillman? Do you think he would have been a star? Yes. I think Brian Pillman, he wasn't the biggest guy in the world, but he had a great character, very charismatic, played a very good heel. He could have been a huge star. I don't know if he would have been like WWE champion, but he could have been very great in the mid card. Why are there no sexy women in video games nowadays? And why do a lot of people have issues with females is sexuality in game now? Well, because for me, like in video games, as long as they're not kids, who gives a shit? Especially like there was this Greek game I forgot about, and like the characters were like goddesses and stuff like that, and they had really big like tits and ass, and people were all upset. And the creators were like, "Bro, they're fucking gods. What do you expect? They're not supposed to look like your average person. They're supposed to look like larger than life, like wrestling." I think people SJWs will find anything to fucking complain about at that point, really. In your opinion, what's the most underrated Royal Rumble match? Fuck. 2005? I recently watched it. It wasn't that bad. It was underrated for sure. 2005. Thoughts on Disney nowadays? Are you tired of them going live action? Disney, for me, Disney lost all their credibility for me when I was a kid. Any nostalgia I had for them was lost after what they did to Star Wars with the sequel trilogy, fucking it up. I really hope that if they like if Disney buys WWE, you think it's bad now, get even worse. So get more DEI, it'll get more kid bullshit. Nobody would want to watch it. Not even kids would want to watch that bullshit. So people who are angry seeking attention is selfish. I agree. I think if you're angry and you want help, you need to reach out and get help. I don't think you need to create a scene. Try your best to actually get better for sure. I can see Raw on Netflix turning out to be XFL 2001. Started with a strong viewership, just went down and drain afterwards. Yeah, they're reporting about 4.9 million worldwide, which is pathetic. That number is not sustainable. They have to really try to sustain that number, and they will not be able to. I hope they do. Like, I really want Raw to be successful. I want wrestling in general to be successful, but the way that it's going now, there's like really nothing to be excited about. Even now, you know. Brian Pillman looked like a serial killer. Yeah, he did. He looked like a fucking psychopath. His facial mannerisms are great. His charisma was great. He could have been a star. Definitely. Brian Pillman is awesome. How do you see WrestleMania playing out? Personally, it'll be worse than last year, but hopefully I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong too. I think it possibly could be worse than WrestleMania 40. Well, I mean, WrestleMania 41, you have matches lined up like Seth Rollins versus CM Punk again. You know, Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. Like, these are not main event level matches. I think that Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte could be good if Charlotte puts her over, but I'm not trying to see Rhea Ripley dominate Io Sky. I'm trying to see Rhea Ripley put somebody over. I think Mania is a perfect opportunity to bring up NXT people. You know, Jada Parker, Lash Legend, Lola Vice, Nikita Lyons, Stevie Turner. A lot of these attractive women that could do something on the main roster. That's what you should be doing for WrestleMania. I hope we're wrong, Alejandro. I really do. Nia doesn't seem like she swings both ways, though. Does. Yes, she does. It does. It's weird because I don't know if you guys notice, sometimes when she has commentary, she does pick favorites with the women, like, oh, she looks very good. She looks pretty, blah, blah, blah. I've heard it before. So there's no doubt. I think she does. I think she does swing both ways. She's definitely bisexual. There's no way. God of War OG trilogy has sex segments and tits. New God of War doesn't. That's modern day for you. Yeah, I agree. I still think the modern God of War is good. I think the story is good. I think the characters are great. But yeah, that's definitely desexualization for you. What are your thoughts on the WWE Hall of Fame? I like the WWE Hall of Fame. I think it gives recognition to legends from the past. It's usually boring though, because you have these legends talking about their experiences and stuff like that. It gets boring after a while. And then on WrestleMania, they stop in the middle of the show to honor the legends. It just takes the charge and the momentum of the show and just stops it to a pulse. I think I think the Hall of Fame should be the night before WrestleMania and then just keep it at that. You don't have to acknowledge them on WrestleMania again. It's just redundant. Mark say we're past bra and panties matches, anything sexual, yet half the women's division gets no pop. Paragon, I don't know if you noticed, like if you watched Raw Monday, when Rhea won the title, there was no pop. Like when she was with Undertaker and holding the title up, there was no pop for her. And that's weird because I thought people would be cheering. Well, guess what? That's because people are done with Rhea Ripley. So at least this current iteration with her, I'm not sure if they'd be done now, but for sure. Do you think it's time for Owen Hart to be accepted by WWE again? Should Martha hold this grudge to her grave? No, I think Martha should let Owen be in the Hall of Fame. If she could sign a Legends deal for him, that would help their family. You know, I understand she's upset about it. I understand, but it's been like 30 years. Just sign the fucking deal. Be a part of I know that Bret Hart wants Owen in the Hall of Fame. Why is Bret's opinion fucking null to Martha Hart's fucking opinion? It's bullshit. I think Bret should have some form of opinion on that. Thoughts on K-pop? It's worse than boy bands. K-pop, I've never got the infatuation with K-pop. I've listened to a couple on the radio and I don't get it. I honestly, I'd rather listen to One Direction and fucking 5 Seconds of Summer, to be real. Thoughts as Edward Norton as the Hulk. I thought he did good. I like the Edward Norton films. Those were barely good. They portrayed Hulk as a big guy better than what the MCU did. Have you ever fallen asleep watching wrestling? Yes. And I'll tell you this story. It was 2023 Royal Rumble. It was the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match with LA Knight versus Bray Wyatt. So me and my brother were watching. I was over at his house watching it, and we both fell asleep at the same time. I think about 45 to an hour had passed, and we wake up. The match is still fucking going on. We fell asleep for an hour, and the Pitch Black match was still going on. So that was one of the times, and I think I fell asleep during the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble. I fell asleep because that was just so fucking boring, and I didn't care about anybody on that show. Who introduced you to wrestling? When was the last time you heard other people talking about wrestling? Well, my parents introduced me to wrestling in 2006, I'd say, around that time. And I don't hear people talking about wrestling at all. Like, me and my brother will talk about it casually, but I don't hear people, like, nobody at my job talks about WWE. When I go to the grocery store, I hear nobody talking about WWE. I don't hear, like, casual people in real life are not mentioning WWE. So, yeah, me and my brother will talk about it casually from time to time, but nobody is really mentioning WWE like that, or just wrestling in general. Thoughts on Marvel movies nowadays? I heard a lot of mixed reactions over them. Everything from before Endgame was great. Like, I really enjoyed the MCU. But I've moved past MCU, and I haven't really watched a superhero movie since No Way Home. The collab with all three Spider-Mans. Greatest superhero movie and the worst. Fuck, that's a really good question. I like Infinity War a lot. Infinity War was great. Man of Steel was great too. Thor Ragnarok was cool. Iron Man, the original Iron Man was fun. Now the worst, Madam Web, Morbius. I know it's not the worst movie, but The Amazing Spider-Man 2 I wasn't really a fan of. Have you ever watched anything sports entertainment wise from your childhood? For me, I watched NASCAR back from 2001, 2009, and soccer Premier League from late 2009 and early 2012. I've always been a fan of football, American football. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan for the last 20 years. I'm very excited to see what they're doing now. I've been a Yankees fan for a while. Philadelphia Flyers fan. I try to watch all types of sports when I can. I don't have cable at the moment, so I kind of just flip flop. But yeah, I watch the Eagles a lot. I'm glad what they're doing. Most underrated film of all time. Fuck, that's really tough. Most underrated film I saw. The Outsiders. I really like The Outsiders based off the book. I know a lot of people talk about it. I think it's underrated for me because compared to the book, it does a very well. It's a very well done movie. Um, I believe TWRP when they say Nia has a strap on, she's just both on men and women, like father, like daughter. Just because she doesn't have the real thing doesn't mean she doesn't get off to. She definitely fucked Triple H in the ass. Like those impressions that TWRP do, I believe for sure. Like it's just fucking nasty shit. I would never get pegged by a woman. If at that point, I think you're just gay. Like there's nothing about being gay that's wrong, but if you're taking a strap on into your ass, you're gay, bro. I hate to say it. Reasons why I think Stephanie is bisexual. She was the one who asked Lita to strip for New York tour in '01, and she slapped Trish's ass in the ring and asked her to do a lesbian scene with Tori. Yeah, definitely. I didn't know about the Lita thing for the tour in '01, but yeah, she slapped Tori's ass and or she slapped Trish's ass. She's definitely lesbian. She's definitely bisexual, I'm sure. What was the craziest conspiracy theories you've heard about wrestling that you actually believe? I'm trying to think here. All the stuff surrounding New Jack. Like I believe all that shit because New Jack is a crazy motherfucker. I think New Jack is about that life, or at least when he was alive, he was about that life. Rest in peace. I believe most of that with New Jack. It was also alleged she fucked China, but hasn't seen concrete proof. It's definitely possible. I don't know why China would let Stephanie McMahon eat her clit out. That's just fucking weird. But girls would be girls, right? When you really think about wrestling, it's the high school of nepotism. Yeah. Like wrestling is like the cool thing you enjoyed in middle school that you fought, I think wrestling kind of has its peak, especially when you're a teenager, because like your friends might enjoy, but then when you hit high school, your friends are like now they're watching UFC or they're watching football or they're just not watching sports in general, so you have nobody to talk to about, and then you have to kind of go to these weird internet forums or Twitter and be a dork. It was for me. Wrestling was always a hobby that I enjoyed. It was never like my life would be revolved around wrestling ever. And I'm glad it never was. So, yeah. I respect GSP. Yeah, GSP is one of the greatest fighters of all time. I respect him too. Thoughts on Pedro Pascal as Joel? I think he does a decent job. My problem with Joel in this show is that he is so fucking weak compared to his video game counterpart. Joel in The Last of Us Part 1 is a fucking beast. He's a tank. He's brutal. He's fucking amazing as a character. Pedro does a decent job. I think they should have written Joel's character more akin to the game. I don't think that they did the best job for him. But as an actor, I like Pedro. He did a fine job. Thoughts on VTuber, virtual YouTubers? VTubers are people that make live stream content on videos using anime style instead of showing their face first. I feel like it's more entertaining. Yeah, I mean, they make a lot of money from what I've heard. A lot of these VTubers make 6 figures a year, or fucking sometimes 6-7 figures a month. So get your bag, bro. I'd never do it because I think that's kind of weird. But hey, do what you need to do, right? And they punished Trish after Stratus refused to kiss Wilson by having her drop the women's title to Jazz the following Raw. They got Stacy replaced Trish in that segment that they did on Air TV. So, okay, Trish actually refused. I'm shocked by that. I didn't think she would do that, but wow, okay. Yeah, it's fucked up that they had her drop the title to Jazz of all people. Like, come on, man. HHH needs to accept that he was never the guy, never will be the guy. Yeah, HHH was never the main event guy. He was always looked down upon. Like people looked at Brock as a bigger star, Batista as a bigger star, Ric Flair as a bigger star, John Cena, JBL. Triple H was never considered the guy. I think that really bothered him, and it still does to this day. For me, the greatest is The Dark Knight. Worst is probably Madam Web. Yeah, I've heard a lot of bad things about Madam Web. The Dark Knight is fantastic. Yeah, for sure. Dark Knight is great. That whole trilogy is great. I love Christian Bale, so good on him. Like, we have a 55-year-old man that has a strange wife and children put over shitty wrestling. Yeah, dude, he's trying so hard to make you believe in his era that it's embarrassing as fuck. And I think he needs to pack, like what the kids would say, he needs to pack it the fuck up. Just do your job to your best abilities, and just stay off of social media. Only advertise bullshit. Don't pay people to advertise your shit, because it's not truly over then. My Wi-Fi is kind of fucked up. Connection is unstable. If you're a Wi-Fi, try plugging on your router. I'm fucking as close as I can get, motherfucker. Batman and Robin, my favorite bad superhero movie of all time. It's so cheesy. It's almost unironically funny. I gotta check that out. I'm gonna check that out if I can sometime. Speaking of football, did you see the interview where Brie Bella said she had a crush on Deion? No, I did not see that. Deion Sanders, stay the fuck away from her, bro. You don't want to be with Brie. I own The Outsiders, amazing film. Yeah, Outsiders is fucking awesome. And it's funny, it's one of the few movies that I enjoyed both the movie and the book. So the book we read in school, and is one of my favorite books that we ever read in school, besides like a Romeo and Juliet play that I had to act out with my fucking crush. That's a hilarious story. But yeah, Outsiders is fucking awesome. All the actors did a great job. Do you think 9/11 watered down society? Yeah. I think 9/11 Homeland Security became a thing. America became more socialized to shit like that. You never had terrorist attacks like that on the United States before, and that definitely changed how everything was looked at. I don't know if it's underrated on how many people know about them, but Satoshi Kon's anime movies are great. Perfect Blue, Millennium Actress, Tokyo Godfathers. I've never seen those, but they sound interesting. Maybe I'll check them out. Oh, and about New Jack, that match he had against that old man that he nearly got killed. That match happened 40 minutes away from me. It happened in the military hangar of Columbia, Tennessee, 2003. Yeah. Also, remember what happened with that kid, mass transit. He fucking bloodied that kid. That kid almost died. Yeah, when Stephanie took over creative, the lesbian content started to increase in wrestling. Russo never did stuff like that. Yeah, so okay, then that just proves that Stephanie she either like is attracted to it, or that's just she wanted to put her weird fantasies on TV. So okay. Damn, dude, I'm sorry. Are you checking out season 2 of The Last of Us when it comes out in April? Yeah, I will watch it. My expectations are not high, considering season 1 was fine and all, but I'm not going to go out of my way to fucking be upset about this. I'm gonna watch it and try to find good things about it. I'm not gonna shit on it for no reason. Thoughts on women like Tori saying they were mortified by bikini contests and bra and panties in the Divas era shit. I think it's bullshit, because they weren't mortified when that fat check hit their bank account, now were they? So that's the problem, right? Is that these people like Tori Wilson, super hot, nice ass, nice tits. You had no problem doing it back in the day when you were getting a fat check. But now you're complaining because you want to be part of this SJW agenda. I think she's trying to get a Legends deal. I think that's why she's shitting on it. I don't think she actually means it, but who knows? Do you think people who make fan fiction are weird or creative? Personally, I think it depends on what topic it's about. Fan fiction as a writer could be a genuinely decent place to start, as long as you write a good fan fiction. If you write shit fanfics, then yeah, you're a fucking weirdo. But if you write genuinely good fan fictions, adding personality traits to characters to make them better storylines, then yeah, it's a decent start. He's a C+ player. Yeah. Triple H is a definite C+ fucking player. the funny thing, his own idol Ric Flair loved hanging with Cena and Randy over HHH. Well, that just for me that just tells you that like people just genuinely didn't fucking like this guy. I don't know what Triple H did. I don't know if he's like a boring fuck in real life that like he sucks the charisma out of his group. But the fact that Ric Flair would rather hang out with Cena and Randy over Triple H is crazy. That was his mentor, his biggest fucking biggest influence in the industry. I wouldn't doubt if Stephanie was behind HLA stuff. She has been involved in it at Unforgiven. Yeah, for sure. She was in the creative team, right? 2002, 2003. Thoughts on Cyberpunk 2027 and the anime? I've not watched the anime. The game is I've heard great things about it, and I've been meaning to play it. I think the next time it goes on sale, I'm going to pick it up and play it because I've heard great things. I've seen the way that they've bounced back. I've heard Edge Runners is entertaining, so maybe I will check that out when I have more free time. Yes, when you lose people, it's rough, dude. It really is, and I don't know how I would react. It's just it's a spur of the moment, and for the people you lost, I'm very sorry. I hope you feel better soon, bro. Have you played Mass Effect? Yes, I played the first one and the second one, and I thought they were great. I never played 3. I've heard good things about it. I should probably play it. Have you ever played the remasters of Turok? Turok is great, dude. Like, I like Turok a lot. Turok and Dino Crisis are some of my favorite like shooters of all time. I haven't played the remaster, but I played the original, and Turok is fantastic. Oh wait, are you talking about the remaster? Was that the one on PS3? Because if that's the one, I played that one as well. Thoughts on the Xbox One launch in 2013 and all the plans they wanted to do? It was just too ambitious. They wanted to do way too much for a fucking gaming console. Like, if you want to be honest, a gaming console should just be, a device capable of playing all the games ever released for that console, being able to play, Blu-ray disc and stuff like that, and call it a day. That's my opinion on that. Thoughts on Daniel Bryan's bad boyfriend gimmick where he treated AJ like shit? I thought it was decent. I think with a better talent now, it could be that would be a great gimmick that you should use for sure. What future plans do you have for your channel? Fuck. So for future plans, I want to do a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm super into heavy metal. I'm super into thrash metal. I'd love to review albums, like stuff from like if you guys like Megadeth, Slayer, Sepultura. I love those bands. I like Seether. I'd love to review albums for you. And like on live stream, I'd love to talk about the album, maybe play like an 8-bit version of the song so we can all listen to it and we can rate the songs together. I think that'd be entertaining, like a live reaction kind of thing to the album in a non-copyright way so that we all could like rate and review it. I'd love to do that with Deftones and older show reviews. Like I know Lisa wanted to do reviews of older Ruthless Aggression stuff, so I'd definitely love to check that out. Kill, marry, fuck Stephanie, Bailey, or Charlotte. Fuck. I'll fuck Bailey because she has a nice ass. I'm marrying Stephanie so I become head booker and save the WWE. And then I'm killing Charlotte. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Thoughts on gay shippers in the IWC who gay ship Punk with other male wrestlers? I think it's weird. Like, what the fuck, bro? It's just sus as fuck to me. And even the people who do it with the female wrestlers who are clearly not gay, just stop. If you want that, just go write your fan fictions on Wattpad or fanfiction.net. Have your own fucking little sectum of your own stuff. Yes, it is. Thoughts on Kelly Kelly and Eve Torres? Kelly Kelly's hot. And Eve Torres was hot too. Both of them are very talented. Nobody cared about their work rate. Everybody wanted to see what they looked like. So, fuck yeah. It'll never happen, but could you imagine if they had a bra and panties match nowadays, how pissed off the SJWs would get? I can see them getting volcano levels of mad. Well, they get people talking. Especially like if they had like IWC darlings like Rhea Ripley and fucking Dakota Kai in a brawling panties match, they would fucking, well, they would goon over it. But if you had somebody like Liv Morgan and like Lash Legend and 1-2 chicks that are hot as fuck, they would fucking lose themselves. Who are actors or actresses in Hollywood you absolutely cannot stand? I don't really pay attention to actors like that, to be honest with you. Any actor who's like actively an asshole to their fans, I don't really fuck with, to be honest with you. Vince Russo even said Triple H was never cool in the Attitude Era, just a wrestling nerd. Yeah, I've heard rumors about that too, like wrestling, like Triple H would just geek and rave over wrestling matches instead of just being a cool guy, so he's just a fucking weirdo. I'm sure when they were out, that's all he wanted to talk about was work rate and what kind of match he could have with the guy next week. So why did the IWC hate Eva Marie? Because she's the stereotypical bimbo who they didn't fuck with. She couldn't wrestle, so they didn't fuck with her. That's the biggest idea. I look at it like this, whatever. She can't wrestle, fuck it. She's a hot chick. You can use her as a valet. So thoughts on Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth? Don't make Lisa mad with your answer. Final Fantasy VII is fantastic. Rebirth is great. The remake is good. I like the games. I haven't played them in a while, but they're great. I played the original Final Fantasy, and Aerolef is a great character. So, controversial question. Your overall opinions on Michael Jackson. Do you believe he did what he did? Michael Jackson was an extremely talented individual who, like, arguably the greatest performer of all time. I love Thriller. It's still one of my favorite albums of all time. Do I believe what he did? I would like to say no. I'm going to say no because I don't want people to think that's true. If it is, then fuck. But if not, we're all good. I hope you have a good night. You have to get up for school in the morning. I hope you have a good night. Yeah, I appreciate it, dude. Really do. Thanks for tuning in, bro. Kill, marry, fuck, Lita, Trish, Mickey. I'm gonna marry Trish. I'm gonna fuck Mickey and I'm gonna kill Lita. I think that's how I'm gonna go about that. Is there a bad wrestling YouTube channel that you checked out because of morbid curiosity, like Wrestling Regret, JD from New York? I really thought about it. Back on the old channel, Pilana Productions really pissed me off a lot. And I wanted to make videos on them, but I was like, nah, fuck it, because it's not worth it at the end of the day. Pilana Productions, I've seen Solid Monsters bullshit. It's garbage. So I'm referring to the remasters of 1, 2, and 3 were originally on Nintendo 64, not the 2008 reboot. Oh, yeah, I've played those. Yeah, they're great. I like Turok a lot. What are your thoughts on 9 Inch Nails in this past year? I heard their first album, Pretty Hate Machine, and their EP. I like 9 Inch Nails. They're not my cup of tea, but they're cool. I think Johnny Cash did a good job covering Hurt. So, yeah, they're all right. What are your overall thoughts on these absolute worst wrestling channels? JD, Cultaholic, Walt Culture, WrestleMania, Wrestling Observer, Solid Monster. I think they all parrot the same bullshit. If you notice with a lot of these guys, is the same opinion. So I don't necessarily support them because their opinions are not different than like mine or yours, Edge Runner. The reason I respect Lisa and Top Dog and most of the people in chat is because we all have a different opinion about what wrestling should be about. And I respect that. But all those names there are the same smart bubble. And I don't respect any of them. I don't want to start problems, but they're fucking retarded. It's like HHA's killing WWE. I don't know if it's despite Vince, but he's definitely just doesn't give a fuck about it anymore. I think he just, for me, I think he just does it. He's doing it. Yeah, maybe you are right. I think he just wants his own Mark bullshit to put on TV. That's what I think it's all about. So, You think Vince is regretting not giving the company to Shane? I'm not sure. I don't know. Like from what I remember, Vince is just checked out emotionally from wrestling. I don't think he gives a fuck anymore because he's still making money from WWE, but I don't really think he cares about the industry as much as some people would like to say he does. So I would assume he does, but I don't know. Remember when Nia didn't have her wedding ring on No's hiatus and take care of the attack? TWRP says it was to bang Gable Stevenson, but with that, we know that it's much deeper. Yeah, it's very odd. Like, why are you not wearing your wedding ring to your husband's, what was it, his retirement, right? Like his retirement speech for 25 years or some bullshit. Why was her ring not there? That's very odd. Now I know some people are probably gonna be like, you're looking way too much into it, blah blah blah. You're a weirdo, blah. But it's definitely suspicious. You can ask questions about it for sure. Okay, weird challenge or question. What's the one movie that everyone thinks is cool, decent, or at least all right, or any entertainment that's woke, if there is any? I don't know if it's like woke, but it's not a fucking it's not a movie, but Game of Thrones. Like I've never understood the love for Game of Thrones. If you like it, cool. But I've tried and it's just too boring for me and it's full of bullshit. Do you play Kingdom Hearts? I've played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 and they're fantastic. I'm embarrassed to say this, but I used to be a fan of JD back around 2016. I turned on him when he would never criticize Triple H. Also, he said some very disgusting things about Alexa Bliss. Yes. I don't blame you. I used to watch wrestling with regret back in 2018. So we all have our moments where we fucking have blunders. So I don't blame you. Fuck, Mary, kill. Tiffany Stratton, Carmen Petrovich, Liv Morgan. Wow. Fuck. That's a really good question, Lisa. Holy shit. I'm gonna marry Liv Morgan. I'm gonna fuck Tiffany Stratton and I'm gonna kill Carmen. I hate it. If I had to pick all three, I would. But that was a great fucking question. You're in a room with Triple H, but you are in a straitjacket, so you can't attack him. How long till you lose your mind over his booking? I feel like he would just piss me off about talking about work rate, but like, hey, PRW, listen up. You saw what Johnny Gargano did out there, and all this and that. I'll just probably want to fucking kill him because I don't fuck with work rate like that. I don't. I don't watch Brian Zane as much. Yeah, Brian Zane is a mark. Brian Zane, I used to enjoy his content back in the day, a couple years ago, but now it's just a bunch of bullshit. I don't like him anymore. Fuck, marry, kill. Tori, Sable, Stacy. I'm gonna fuck Sable. Actually, wait. This is tough. This is real tough. I'm gonna fuck. This is real tough. You got me, Jason. Fucking dick. This is real tough. Sable. I'm gonna kill Sable. I hate it. I hate that I had to do that. I'm gonna marry Tori and I'm gonna fuck Stacy. Dude, I hate to say it, those legs would probably do wonders for my dick. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Oh fuck. Impression. TKO secretly hires Vince Russo as Booker and fires Triple H and ban the little whiny fat mark. Okay. All right, Triple H, come on in. We have some bad information for you. Well, you'll look at it as bad because it only affects you. So what we're gonna do is we've seen what you've been doing. It's been pissing us off. You really fucked us over with this Netflix deal. So we are done with you. We're bringing in Vince Russo to do your job. And I'm tired of you. What do you mean? You're firing me? Look at all the bangers I'm putting on in the ring. Just look at the fucking show. Yeah, we're seeing the show, asshole. We're seeing the degrading ratings. We see our money is failing. We're seeing the people you're pushing, and it's fucking pathetic. So what we're going to do is we're bringing in Vince Russo, a guy who actually did great shit for the Attitude Era and great shit for wrestling. And what we're going to do is we're going to send your ass over to TNA Wrestling. You're going to be with your fat ass marks. So get the fuck out before we call police. I'm going to get you back for this. That was my best kind of impression. Any weird fetishes you have? Weird fetishes. I don't know. I like my face being touched. Like if a girl's fucking me or something, or like we're making out, I like having my face touched. I think it's fun. I did not know Renee Dupree has a fucking podcast. Fuck, marry, kill Lola, Jada, Stephanie Vecchier. I'm killing Stephanie Vecchier. I'm fucking Lola Vice, and I'm married Jada Parker. I think these days there are so many people that hated WWE and went to AEW for reasons. I was like that with TNA from 06 to 10. I was such a mark for the 6-sided ring X divisions, Miss Tasker. Oh man, dude, it's funny because you need alternatives come up and go. It just depends on if it's good. And AEW had the potential to do something and they failed. And it's because they did it the wrong way. And I don't blame you for being, I don't blame you for being a mark for that because it's different. Like the 6-sided ring is cool. I've heard it was a bitch to work on though, for sure. I used to watch What Culture back in the day. I was so brainwashed, but thanks to TWRP, I know a lot more than listen to those stupid work rate marks. Yeah, good. Glad you found your way out. A lot of people find their way out after a while. So good for you, Alejandro. Question: if you could go back in time and watch the Mankind versus Undertaker Hell in a Cell match for the very first time, impression live on YouTube, how would you react? Well, I think I'd mark the fuck out. I'd be honest with you. Even rewatching it, I'm like, damn, that's fucking crazy that they were able to do that. Two guys that just didn't care. I'd love it. Fuck, marry, kill Kelly, Maria Kanellis, Candice Michelle. I'm gonna fuck Kelly. I'm gonna marry Candice Michelle, and I'm gonna kill Maria Kanellis. That Noseman impression is so accurate. Yeah, that's like one of the few impressions I do very well, like that and CM Punk, because I appreciate it, Bad Sport. Why do some people love emotional weirdos? Because they just fucking find their way into it. It's weird, What matches of shows would you love to do a live reaction to on YouTube? Show wise, like I haven't seen. I really don't know. Like, I would love to review Sword Art Online for you guys because that's like one of the worst animes I've ever watched. I haven't seen it in years, so I'd love to review Sword Art Online. WWE content for sure. Fuck, marry, kill AEW edition. Mariah May, Toni Storm, Mina Sakura. I'm gonna fuck Toni Storm. She's got a fat ass. My cock would feel real great in there. I ain't gonna hold you with that. I'm a gooner. Fuck out of here with that shit. Mina, she's got some nice tits, bro. She could definitely shove them on my face. So I would marry her. And Mariah May. Hey, Mariah May's hot as fuck, though. This is tough. Can I just fuck all three of them? Call it a day? Triple H should make me book her. Well, Triple H should make you book her because you would know how to book the women. Okay, I have to admit, I know I'll probably get laughed at. I have a giantess fetish. No wonder I like tall women. Hey, man, you like what you want. As long as you're not a fucking weirdo about it, do what you need to do. What are wrestling channels you used to watch back in the day that you woke up to and said, I'm not watching it anymore? The first one that comes to mind is The Hater. I liked Hater's content to begin with. But then for me, The Hater doesn't really offer anything for the industry. He just hates on wrestling, and he doesn't offer shit for the industry. I don't want any beef with Hater because I think he's all right. But Come on, dude. Every video is the same bullshit, bro. I stopped watching Smart Busters, but I like Smart Busters. You know, they're cool. But I stopped watching their videos too. I don't really watch too many anti-smart YouTubers. I watch TWRP, TW Booty Hunter, Casual Q when he'll upload stuff like that. Dark Bullsy. Fuck Mary Kill TNA, Angelina Love, Velvet Sky, Madison Ray. So I'd marry Velvet Sky, I'd fuck Angelina Love, and I'd kill Madison Rain. Oh no, I meant if you can go back in time and live react to a classic wrestling show, what would you pick? Fuck. I would, dude. I know it sounds fucking retarded. I would love to live react to Evolution, so I could just shit on it the entire time. I'd love that. Vegeta is awesome. Yes, he is. He's one of the best characters in Dragon Ball Z. He's one of the best characters in the franchise. His story is very good. I love Vegeta. One of my favorite. I would say Destructor. I don't watch Destructor's content. I don't have any problems with Destructor, but I kind of like when my channel got like fucking compromised. I stopped like for a whole year. I stopped watching TWRP. Like I stopped watching all of the channels I enjoyed, like DST show, you know, Destroyer BHB and all that stuff. I stopped watching them because I was so angry that my channel got compromised, and I was so upset and shit like that. So I stopped watching the videos and stuff. Keep in mind the hater also went after TWRP. He keeps going after them. I just don't get it. I don't know if he's trying to get their attention. I think the hater just needs to focus on himself, to be real. I don't understand why he does all that crap. It's just, dude, just make your content. Enjoy making your content for your fans. Who cares? You have more subscribers than TWRP. It does not matter. Who gives a fuck? We make our videos to put our opinions out there, do we not? So I don't understand what the problem is. So, thoughts on hate watching? Hate watching, if it's out of fun, I think it's okay. But if you're like legitimately watching the show to get mad and angry, then yeah, you gotta move the fuck on. You know, you gotta do your own thing. I'm gonna go now. One day you might get me on stream, but see it. Yeah, hey, see you too. I don't blame you. I was probably gonna end this at like 1:00 anyway. So, do you think Edge is into muscle mommies? Granted, Beth is in her prime, looking great, but her return in 22 definitely showed something else. I mean, from Lita to her, like what Lisa said earlier, I definitely think that most of the roster, if not all of them, have muscle mommy fetishes. I think it's one of those things they fantasize about. So yeah, I would say that Edge going from Lita to Beth is kind of baffling to me, considering Lita was like the hottest woman on the roster at that time, and he goes to Beth Phoenix. It's like going from Lita to Molly Holly. Nobody was really fucking with Molly Holly like that. So it's definitely possible for sure. Who's the biggest marks in wrestling? The wrestlers and the promoters. I think they're all the worst when it comes to booking. They all have that shit. So I have a feeling HHH hates Theory, maybe because Nia was high on him as well as Vince. Yeah, Vince and Stephanie were super high on Austin Theory, and that's understandable. Austin Theory is not awful; he's actually very good. I like Austin Theory a lot, and I think any talent that like Stephanie and Vince collectively agree on over HHH, I think that bothers him because it reminds him of what they did with him to Cena, and you know Rene Dupree and all that stuff. The only talent I could think of that Triple H didn't get mad about Vince and Stephanie liking was Becky Lynch and the Four Horseface women and shit like that. It's very odd to see, for sure. Lol, why Evolution? What did they do? Well, for them to think that all women's pay-per-view with no sexuality would draw is ridiculous to me. And they really wanted Evolution to be part of their normal lineup going forward. It just wasn't gonna happen. Question: how do you feel about people who diss other content creators on YouTube by saying, "Oh, I have more subscribers and viewers than you"? It's supposed to be a measuring contest. Who fucking cares? I think if you're gonna come at a fucking creator, bring some actual points to the table. Don't be like, "I have more subs, I get more views than you." Like, bro, nobody gives a fuck. You're making wrestling videos, brother. Same thing with me. Like, if you're flexing views, you're not Mr. Beast, bro, getting 150 million views a video. You're getting your 7 to 8K. Congrats. It's a lot of views. Good for you. Nobody's saying it's bad. But to say that, like, oh, I get more subscribers, I got more monthly viewers, who gives a fuck? Nobody cares. I don't care. I don't necessarily care. I care about views, but I don't necessarily like, I don't obsess over them, you know? So I think it's petty as fuck. Truly said both. Beth was definitely a larger woman overall. To be honest, given that Lita took Roy's, I wouldn't doubt that Beth did either. Yeah, for sure. I bet which specific wrestlers are the biggest marks. Oh, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Triple H, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Adam Cole, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, Alba Fire, Zelina Vega. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Those are some of the names I could think of. Question: WWE 2K is on sale. Would you recommend I should buy it? How much is it on sale for? Tell me a price, like whatever the sale price is, and then maybe. Oh, I thought you meant the faction. No, I meant the pay-per-view fucking bullshit show. So. Nia and VKM also like Randy Orton. That's another one. HHH did not mind kissing his own wife passed out. Yeah, dude, that was a nuts segment. Randy DDTs her, fucking kisses her right in front of him. That was a cool segment. I fucked with that. But yeah, the fact that he was okay with that is kind of funny to me. Lashley is a beast. Yeah, I'm glad Bobby's getting featured in AEW. Good for him. Implied in his autobiography that he had a crush on Lita since she entered the WWE. Oh, Edge? Yeah, no doubt. At least H made a smart decision on canning the pay-per-views. One of the rare moments he actually gets right. Yeah, I don't think there should be a pay-per-view every fucking month. I think I'm okay with your big four, so like WrestleMania, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and SummerSlam. Honestly, I don't think you need more than like 6 to 7 pay-per-views a year. Like, there's no reason why there should be, like, back in the day, like 2016, there's like 12 pay-per-views a month. I'm like 12 pay-per-views a year. I'm like, this is ridiculous. That's what the hater was saying in his video of TWP. Literally just a measuring contest. No real criticism at all. I would have bodies after it with me. Yeah, bro, honestly, like the hater, it just seems like pent up bullshit for him. I just don't understand. Just do your own content. Why do you care so much about what other people are doing? It's not like TWRP is outright ousting your name. They leave you anonymous. If that bothers you, that's kind of a you problem, bro. I've never done that. Like when I made my Plana production video, I called out his opinions. I didn't call about like anything else. Thoughts on what caused the LA fires? It's looking like arson, bro. Like if you've seen the videos, it looks like somebody set fire to the woods and stuff like that. And if that's the case, whoever did that is evil. So it's the Bray Wyatt edition for 30. 2K25 is going to come out soon. I think like in March it drops. So if you can wait till then, wait. But even then, I wouldn't buy it right away. I'd wait like a month or two until it dropped in price and then pick it up. If you're desperate enough to play it, 2K24 is not the worst wrestling experience I've had, but it's definitely not the best. I'd take SmackDown versus Raw over that any fucking day of the week. The only version of CM Punk I liked is when he did the Straight Edge Society gimmick feuding with Mysterio when he had the long hair and beard. So one of the earliest things I saw wrestling. Yeah, it's Straight Edge Society wasn't awful, but then you had like Cult of Personality. It was like bullshit like that. CM Punk's not like convinced, you know? Just don't get it. Do you feel like you could debate somebody who argues that WWE is great now in a boom period, getting a brain injuries? I could debate. I'm so open to debates with anyone who wants to fucking claim that we're in a boom period. I'm okay with that. Like if somebody wanted to debate me on I don't know, let's say somebody doesn't think Liv Morgan deserves a push, I will debate them on that. That's perfectly fine with me. If I had the free time, yeah, I'd debate, but I would lay the rules out like you're not going to interrupt me. I won't interrupt you. If you disrespect me on my show, you're done. Like I will kick you off. This is an open platform for everybody. You're going to be respectful, whether it's a debate or not. So I'm definitely open to debating people. On TWRP's Question Everything In on channel, what are some conspiracy theories that you have that they haven't talked about you would love to see them do? I don't know if they talked about Easter Island. I would love to see them talk about that. Easter Island has always fascinated me. I would also question everything on the ocean. I would love to see like them talking about like historical creatures, the ocean floor, the Mariana Trench, stuff like that. That stuff would interest me. Even marine biology, I'd love to see. Another reason why I think Mia screwed around was a segment with Cena while she was running creative, willingly slapping her ass, and she smiled. She could have said no to it. You know what? I remember that segment. Cena like straight up slapped her ass very hard, and she liked it. So I think Triple H is a cuck. I think he's okay with it. I think he forced himself to be a cuck so he could get that fucking deal. Thoughts on Walt Clyde and Millennial Smart? I like Millennial Smart. I have no problems with him. Walt Clyde, yeah, I just full on smart, dude. I remember watching some of his old videos on AEW and they were pretty decent, but now he just glazes Cody, and I don't have too much of an opinion on Walt Clyde. He's just an average smart, So thoughts on General Jerry? From what I remember, General Jerry was cool. Does he still make videos? Because when I remember watching him like 2-3 years ago, he was cool as fuck. Because I watched Smart Busters and I watched him. They were always good. So yeah, General Jerry, hopefully he's still going strong. What are some of the craziest conspiracy theories, non-wrestling related, that you personally believe in? Secret Covenant of the Illuminati. Eyes Wide Shut movie, that's real. The government is lying to you. The drones recently being spotted in like I live in New Jersey, so spotted in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, across the country. It's definitely we're not in control. So I don't know Bruce Blitz, sorry. Only boom period in wrestling is dropping boom in the toilet. Yes, the ratings are going down consistently. Thoughts on WWE All Stars? The video game should have had they made a sequel. All Stars, from what I remember, All Stars was fun. It was arcadey. It was very good. You could say the spiritual successor to All Stars was WWE 2K Battlegrounds, which is dog shit. I would love to see updated with the modern roster. I think it would be fun to play. I would love them to do a question everything on astrology. Yeah, I'd love to see that. I think they've been teasing that. People have been asking for that for a while now, as far as I remember from being subscribed to them for so long. I'd love to see that. They did do a question on everything on the Bermuda Triangle, but it's gotten taken now because Wrestling Otaku flagged their channel. Yeah, fuck that asshole. I think it's on Patreon, man. I'll check that out later. Fucking Wrestling Otaku. Thoughts on Michelle McCool making Travis Scott look like a bitch boy next to her? I thought she was like 5-something or 5'10" or something, but come on, well, dude looks like a gremlin next to her and take her. Yeah, dude. Like Travis Scott is legitimately tiny. He's a tiny motherfucker. I didn't think he was that small, but yeah, Travis Scott is fucking small as fuck. And Taker's very tall. Yeah, they both made him disappear. It's pretty funny to look at. Speaking of which, thoughts on that fat tub of lard Wrestling Otaku? At this point, Wrestling Otaku is a meme. I've never really had problems with him, but he's very sensitive and he needs to just stop making videos. The reason I say this is because a lot of his opinions are the same that we hear for decades now. Like, it's just time to move on from this guy. Like, you know how the kids are saying, let's leave this motherfucker in 2024? Should have left Otaku in 2024, to be honest with you. You read the Bible. Yes, I've read some parts of the Bible. I need to get back into it because I really need to become one with God, genuinely. So, thoughts on Society Reviews? He's cool. I don't have any problems with Society Reviews, so I like him. General Jerry came back recently. Okay, cool. I'll definitely check that out. I liked his I like that fucking his content. Who are the most toxic content creators on Twitch, YouTube? On anyone who promotes a crypto scam, to me, is a scumbag. Knowing that they will sell out, like the Hawk to a girl who did the meme coin, Logan Paul with Crypto Zoo, stuff like that. If you advertise fake giveaways, I don't fucking like people like that. So they all go to hell for all I care. None of these modern day wrestlers will have hot female actors fawn over them like Beyonce over Rock and Margot Robbie over Cena. Yeah, because the only ones I could see is Roman and like Drew, but I don't know any fucking celebrities fawning over them. I mean, come on. How do you feel about Hater talking shit on TWRP? I just think it's bullshit. Dude needs to just focus on himself, get off that bubble. I just do what you want, bro. Shitting on them ain't doing nothing for you, bro. Come on. WWE games back then were gold. Yes. SmackDown versus Raw. Fantastic. SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. WWF No Mercy. All great games. Good night, Dr. Sleek. Thank you for sticking through, bro. I really appreciate it. Thoughts on PS Power? PS Power was cool, man. Like he was doing videos fucking like a decade ago, a long time ago. I've gone back and watched. He's got good insight. So good. Yeah, I liked PS Power a lot. Worst wrestling YouTubers: JD from New York, Solomonster, BC Amplified, F4W, Dave Meltzer, Brian Alvarez, Sean Ross Sapp, Wrestling Otaku, Walt Clyde, a lot of fucking channels. Who's the bigger fat ass, Bronson Reed or Otaku? Who would win in a match? Also, what kind of stipulation would you give in a match? Give them Burger King eating match. I think so. Bronson's probably way stronger than Otaku. You just throw him around like a fucking. Well, actually, Bronson hasn't thrown nobody the fuck around. I think Bronson would out eat him. I would have Ozempic on a pole match for sure for both of them because they both need it. They should have had Ice Cube and Dr. Dre at Raw instead of Travis Scott since they were LA. Yeah, that would have been cool because like you have NWA over there having a fucking reunion. That'd be great. Casuals that know them would fucking love them. Are there any takes that TW had that you didn't agree with? Their Benoit praise. Like that was one of the fucking weirdest videos I've ever watched. Like I understand they were praising him as a wrestler, but I just never saw the big deal in Benoit. So it was very odd. So the Benoit video, another video I didn't agree with. When I was a Rhea Ripley fan, when they made that video on Rhea Ripley, I was like, I disagree, but realistically, they were right. Impression: Bret Hart yells at a kid for buying WC Mayhem because Bill Goldberg is in the cover through a copy. WrestleMania Arcade. I can't do Bret Hart, bro. I'm sorry. I'm glad you didn't pay money. I'm glad you didn't fucking have to pay money for that shit. What WWE 2K game is your favorite? 2K14. Now, granted, it's a THQ game with the 2K logo on it, but that's my favorite. What is the stupidest thing you read on wrestling Twitter? So the stupidest thing I've read is Rhea doesn't need to put anybody over because she's the biggest star in the company, which is bullshit. Which wrestling industry personality you can't stand? For me, it's Jim Cornette. I can't stand how degraded he is. For me, it's like Sean Ross Sapp, Dave Meltzer, and fucking Brian Alvarez, bro. I can't stand them. They're all fucking ridiculous to me. What were the times in wrestling that made you stop watching wrestling or almost made you stop watching wrestling? 2017, 2019, 2022, 2023. Yeah, I when I was making videos on my old channel, there's a good time I didn't watch wrestling for like 3 years. So, yeah, like all those years are definitely. The hater keeps thinking just because he got more subs in TWR, he's better. I don't work that way. TWRP is more funny, entertaining. Look, you can like the hater or not. It doesn't matter to me. I put over TWRP because they helped me out a lot. So I'll always be grateful for them. How do you feel back in the day when you saw New Day coming out, Unicorn Hordes? What would a casual fan do if they saw it back in the day? Well, they call them gay. They'd be like, well, first of all, they'd ask, why are they, dressed in pink and all that shit? And then they'd be like, oh, they're gay. So, has Dave Meltzer actually done the most damage to wrestling? If people would stop taking his match rating seriously, I would say like Dave Meltzer, Botchamania, people like that over obsess about wrestling matches and moves. That's for sure. Sorry, I meant specific segment. When Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins started teaming up as an on-screen couple, and Seth was wearing the man's man t-shirt, that was so fucking retarded and gay. Benoit has CTE, poor decision. Yeah, I like when they made that video. I was just strongly baffled. I was like, I was like, what is this? Trying to look for anything else. Yeah, if you have any more questions, leave them down. If not, then we can end this shit. It's all good. I'm okay with answering more questions if that's what you want. It's not a big deal. Do you think any of these flip-flop wrestlers nowadays, they're going to be looked back on to 10 years, 20 years from now? No, nobody's going to be like, oh, remember Ricochet? You remember Christopher Daniels? Nobody's going to ever fucking say that. I don't understand why the Marks want Cena versus Gunther at Mania. It would be a waste of time. Randy should be Cena last Mania. Yeah, I agree. They're gonna have Cena put over Gunther or Cody. That's how it's gonna go. So expect that. Thoughts about Vince being revealed as the higher power? I think it was interesting. It was definitely funny. I didn't expect it to be Vince. It was definitely a swerve. It was pretty funny and entertaining to me. He's like, "It was me, Austin. It was me all along." It was just, I think that was hilarious. So Vince always did the great shit. A cousin of mine had watched WWE back in the day. Saw a glimpse of Attitude in 2 years. Riskless aggression. Yeah, I tell him to just stay in that era. For you, for real. Weirdest wrestling fans you've ever seen in person? There was this kid that went to my school who was a huge John Cena fan. He wore jorts, had the knee braces and stuff, and the wristbands and the hat, and he'd walk around like he was John Cena. No, he was special needs, so I didn't troll him too much, but yeah, people made fun of him. He was super weird because he was super into Cena, and it was very odd to me. What are some things at the Attitude Era that you don't like? Shit. It's really that's hard. Attitude Era that I didn't like. I don't really know. I genuinely don't know. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I have no idea. Least favorite moments about the Attitude Era. You know what? I think it set the bar too high that wrestling could never recover for. That's like the worst thing about it, was that the ratings were so high that when you went to Ruthless Aggression, it was impossible to keep up and get the best ratings. So I guess that's the worst part about it. Have I come across any wrestling nerds? Yes, I have. Least favorite aspect of each era: Attitude, Golden, Ruthless. Golden or Attitude, because of the sexualization of women, it allowed people now to kind of look back on it as degrading, even though the women got paid very well to do all that crap. Golden was like true heights of pro wrestling, to where it was never going to ever get back to that. Ruthless, ratings went down and they started focusing more on flippity flip guys. And New Generation, just like too many goofy characters. They didn't know who their audience was, and people were tuning out. When Vince was doing the crazy storylines he was doing in 06, where he was acting like he was better than God, should he have been put in a mental asylum? I don't know, man. Just it's very odd. What I didn't like, intergender shit with X-Pac. Oh yeah, like China stuff was all right, but like intergender wrestling is not my thing. It doesn't matter who's wrestling. I just don't really enjoy it. If O'Hare was alive, who was in a fight? Riddle, Punk, or Shamrock? Ken Shamrock fucks them the fuck up. Prime Ken Shamrock would choke both of them the fuck out. Let's be real. What is the more overrated in wrestling, the NWO or DX? Personally, I'd say DX, but the NWO got too big. Got to a point where there were so many factions of NWO, it was not nostalgic. I'd say DX because like NWO was bigger than DX and they sold more merch than DX. But I do agree with you because everyone was joining the fucking NWO at some point. At least DX didn't have too many people joining in, so I agree with that. I don't know how true it is, but allegedly Trish was supposed to be revealed as the higher power in '99, but because her visa got postponed, she couldn't make it in time. Hence why she debuted in 2000. Huh. Interesting. Where'd you hear that from? That's actually very interesting. If that's true, that's kind of interesting, to be honest with you. Is the Katie Vick storyline the most disgusting storyline in wrestling history? Why would Triple H agree to do that anyways? Katie Vick was just weird. Why the fuck was he fucking a dead corpse? It's just with a Kane mask on. It's just very odd. Thoughts on dominant babyface? What do you prefer more, dominant babyface or underdog? Cena, Goldberg, Stone Cold, Rock. Dominant babyfaces are good when they're booked right. The underdog is so overplayed. I think if you won a championship before, you're not an underdog. You've reached the top of the mountain, the pinnacle mountain up there. So I would say I like dominant. I like a mix of both. If they can do them both right, I don't have a problem with both. But Triple H can't do shit. So, oh shit. Ruthless Aggression was crazy. Vince and Shane and tag against HBK and God. HHH fucked a corpse. The many arcs of Kane. Gay weddings. It was unhinged. Yeah, it was a lot more. I would say it was a lot more unhinged than the Attitude Era for sure. If you were to do a live reaction of first impression to Katie Vick storyline, how would you react? I would have puked all over the floor. Well, I would, like, if I had to do a live reaction the first time I ever saw that, I would just be like, what the fuck am I watching, first of all? And I think I would just be too shocked to say anything. Now, if my brother was with me, he'd be like, yo, what the like, we'd be disgusted. You know, it's fucking disgusting. Katie Vick was pretty funny, not gonna lie, but I love edgy humor. Yeah, I like edgy humor too. I don't know. Katie Vick just never pleased me in a way like I could laugh about it. Shit. Damn, it's 12:58, man. Fuck. All right, so I'm gonna end it here because I gotta get up for work tomorrow. But I do appreciate everybody for coming out, leaving their questions, making this a fun time. Thanks for 100 subscribers. I really appreciate it. And you know, we could definitely do this some other time, whenever. So yeah, PRW, tune in to, I don't know, a couple days. We'll have a video out for you. Peace out, guys.